What is going on, everybody? Three Scoundrels in a Cantina is live, my friends. What's up, everybody? My co-host here, Avant Docs, Old Man Logan. How you doing, fellas?
Doing great.
Peaches, man. No real complaints. Just was going to pass the torch for the intros for the evening. I'm on a sabbatical.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So first up, we have our good friend Songeta here. He is somewhat of a new and up-and-comer, but he's coming up fast. He's getting known pretty quickly here, and we took notice, and we thought we'd have him on here. So, by the way, Songeta, thank you for coming by. How you doing, my friend?
Yeah, doing good. Thanks for having me on. I was saying earlier, I've been waiting for someone to ask me to be on a podcast. So congrats on being the first to inquire. But yeah, happy to be here.
No problem, brother. And what's funny is
absolutely. We appreciate your time.
We hear that from a lot of people, strangely. So which is weird. I love having people on and, talking SWGOH. So it's weird that more people don't get asked. But, and lastly, one of my best friends in all of life, and a mentor. If you guys don't know him, you're living under a rock. I mean, this guy is a SWGOH legend. We're having Paul.
Yep.
My friend Paul is here, and he will be in and out. He's busy. He's kind of at work at the moment, so he may not be. He'll be in and out tonight. But that is the floating head. Here we switched reverse. I used to be so anyway, he used to be the.
He was the other 50% of the Escape podcast.
There we go. Thank you. I can't talk tonight. And we had Nev on a couple weeks ago too. So
we did.
And if it was not for Paul, this wouldn't even be going on. I wouldn't have been on. I wouldn't have met Logan. This show would not be happening without Paul here. And Paul, I don't know if you can hear me or if you're here, but
I can hear you now.
Okay. I love you, brother, and thank you so much for coming on tonight. And how you doing, my
friend? Love you too. And I'm just here as Paul.
AKA what?
Ducky.
That's right.
Yeah, man. Honest, I think I was only 1 or 2 episodes in of this content creation thing that I decided to start doing. And next thing I know, I'm on the Escape podcast with guys that I've been listening to for 2 years. I was just like, holy shit, this is surreal. So it's been a really nice treat to have. We had Nev on earlier, and now it's just Paul on. So
yeah, Paul.
We are fortunate and very thankful. And also to Songeta again, thank you for coming on. But we started a little late, so let's dive into it, gentlemen. Let's get into the first topic. So the title of the episode has something to do with dry dock, which is where the Leviathan is. It came out. I think it's an understatement to say that it's not working as intended, littered with bugs, a lot of different interactions. It's absolutely horrendously bad on defense. I mean, for Christ's sakes, the Radis is beating it. If that happens, then something really needs to be tweaked and looked at. We all may know the kit pretty well. CG put out a forum about some of the bugs that they've noticed or people have reported. I don't think that's all of them. So I want to start how we usually do this. We'll start with our newest guest. Songeta, I watched your video, which was very well done, by the way, of your 4-star testing. And
thanks.
I did notice that when you did the mirror match, it's a coin flip. It's 50-50. If they take out your engine before you get to take out theirs, you might as well just hit reset.
Yep. Yeah, it's just, I mean, I can't believe I hadn't thought about it before I actually got in. I was like, oh, if you just get to this ability first, you reduce their speed, and everything else is the exact same. You honestly, I think the only way you can come out of it without it being a pure coin flip is if they get a ton of debuffs on you, and then they're dumb and use the first special first instead of the sabotage the engines, and then you could maybe come out on top. But that's just like an RNG nightmare. But it's gonna be awful for mirror matches. Especially once you get to 7 stars, everyone's got R9 already, and everyone's got 60 mods on Darth Revan already. So it's going to be a pain. So I hope once they fix all the bugs and all that stuff that you can still beat it with Executor or Profundity or just something, or else it's going to be just miserable until the next one comes out.
Hey,
Shades of the Jedi Knight Revan meta. When it was just
old school right there.
Hey, hold your guys' thoughts. Continue this, but Songeta, we forgot to ask you what your GP was, and if you
Yes.
spend money or not, if you are aquatic in nature.
Yeah. Aquatic in
That
nature.
sounds so familiar.
Yeah, right. I wonder who came up with that one.
Yeah, I'm at like 10.6 million right now. I do not spend. I actually was given the account in May 2020, at which point it was 3.9 million. No Galactic Legends yet because they were pretty new anyway. But yeah, so I started from 3.9 million 3+ years ago, and yeah, no spending. I just try to be efficient and play obsessively. Don't miss stuff.
That's the way to be, man.
But,
Instead of spending money, spend your entire life and dedicate your life to this game.
We need to give a
yeah,
shout out to
the
Mr.
trade-off is not
Ho.
lost for me, but it's not
gave
too
me a
much
bunch of subs.
actual time.
Yeah, so really quickly, guys, my boo, Mr. Who, just subbed us 5 subs here. Thank you so much, brother. Love you, man.
My apologies. I didn't read that properly.
I know it's Mr. Who's is in our guild, so it's just an inside joke. He's my sugar daddy. Anyway, continue on.
Oh, me?
Oh no, yeah, go ahead.
Was I?
Well, I mean, anybody on the panel that has played with the Leviathan, what are all your thoughts on this matter? I mean, if we go back to the original forum post, this was advertised as a meta-changing fleet. That's what was advertised. And Songeta, that one video you did, you actually went back at the end of the video and reread. I thought that was brilliant on your part for that video, that you went back and actually read that to remind everyone that this is not what we asked for. Now, there's been quite a few angry people over this. There's a couple of content creators I've watched that were, can we say, less than pleased? But my biggest, are we surprised, folks? Are we surprised at this point?
I'm not surprised just because they need a beta program again. Like they got rid of it when they had the Datacron leak, and I understand that. But they need something in some capacity where they need to start a whole new slate and they need some kind of better controls in place. I don't know what the NDAs looked like or anything, but whoever did that leak caused an enormous harm to the game because not only did they disband the beta program, but they really, I don't know, stirred up strife about Datacrons that didn't need to happen. Because when that came out, the images showed like relic materials being needed to upgrade Datacrons, and I think that was a big part of the initial fury. And then when it came out and it was different, it never truly subsided. So that's an aside, but yeah, that leak, the beta program, it's so crystal clear. Like anytime anything new comes out, there's a ton of bugs. Either it's overpowered or in this case it just completely misses the mark, and they just need better testing. It's just not working right now, and the ship isn't even fun to play with, honestly.
You can thank somebody from the MCU for that. That's all I'm gonna say.
From the MCU,
I have no idea what you mean. But I'll think about it. Paul, I have a question for you though regarding this. You don't play anymore, correct? But
no,
this still could.
I still have to. I still have to finish Afra. I have everybody ready. I just haven't gotten through. The last time that I touched the game was the time that I met you at Pluckers.
Yeah, I was just about to say you were sitting there playing at the table. So that was a long time ago already. So
Afra's so much fun.
But so my question is to you, Paul. Do you think this game, whether you play it or not, you have some insight on this? Do you think they'll ever bring back something like testing, or what could they do to fix this problem with lack of testing that they do on new releases and stuff like this? Because have you been following the news? Like Leviathan is the biggest, baddest thing. They literally said this is going to decimate everything. It's going to be the meta, and it's getting beat by everything pretty much right now.
I believe the verbiage was "it will execute profoundly."
Mm-hmm. Well, later on, I'm here to tell you that it does.
It's par for the course. It's really par for the course. And if you're testing at 3-4 stars, or 4-5 stars, back in the day, yeah, the characters and their mechanics do well, But there's only so much you can do with ships, and a capital ship nonetheless, that you can kind of weave something in that's still viable at lower star before it becomes good at 7.
So is all the controversy just 6-star and below? So once you hit 7-star, you guys, is that are we happy? Do you guys think? I mean, I don't know. I've never used it before, so.
For me, all the controversy that it has always been is somebody figures out a way to get around how they worded the kit, because they're freaking Mensa level able to figure out how some of these kits interact with each other and their specific speeds. So there's gonna be times when a video game will get it wrong. It happens, and not just this.
Yeah.
And they fix it.
Yeah, I agree. And I think people are just waiting, chomping at the bit for CG to mess up. They release their stuff, they complain, they're just ready for the next thing to get him. Now I'm not taking CG's side with everything, but everyone's chomping at the bit for the next thing.
I think a lot of the anger was just the fact that, again, something was advertised and it wasn't expectations. And it was expectations. Yeah. And it was so horrendously awful that I do understand that some people are upset, but again, that's why I kind of go back to, I don't think this is a shock. I think where the anger comes from is that it was so bad. So Avant and Songeta, you guys have it. You don't have it 7, but you have it. Are you glad you got it? Is this, 2 Relic 9s?
I don't feel bad that I chased it.
They're all good characters, except like Assassin and Darth Maul. So I think Sith Empire is the coolest faction in the game. So even if it's not that great, I'm still happy to have them all decked out.
Well, knowing what we know now, would you two have changed course and gone for Jedi Knight Cal instead?
No.
For me, honestly, there's not a choice to make. It was impossible to get Cal the way I play. It was never going to happen, and it was doable to get Leviathan. It was just like, do I have enough time? Anything gated behind new characters, it doesn't matter if it's Relic 9 or Gear 12, because it takes forever to get a new character when you're farming and not spending money, or you don't have a huge horde, which I never hoard. So yeah, there are very few like real choices for me to make. Like, oh, do I do this or do I do that? Like, because I have most of everything, and it's just chasing new stuff. And it's like, okay, what can I get? I can't get a new capital ship. I can't get this new character gated behind a bunch of new 7-star characters. So yeah, no regrets.
Yeah, because I had most of my. It wasn't too hard to guess, right? We had everyone just relicked all their Sith, and you were pretty much right. So it wasn't hard to prepare for free to play, and I did that same thing. So I agree with that. It was definitely the choice to make.
I'm slow farming the Jedi Cal requirements. I have 2 of the 5 at 7 stars, Gear 12 or greater. I'm gonna get Tarful at 7 stars tomorrow. I'll have Saw at 7 stars in probably like 5 days. And Marin is just taking forever. So it's probably going to be like another 2 or 3 weeks. So I'll get Jedi Cal this next time it comes around.
That still seems pretty fast to me. What is slow farming defined as in your mind?
Oh, well, so I'm not slow farming. I'm doing 25 and 50 refreshes on all the characters.
Oh, okay.
Just because I don't like waiting forever. I want to get them done and be done with it.
Yeah.
And like from an economy standpoint, 25 and 50 refreshes are still better than buying them out with crystals from the store. So that's a win in my book.
Yeah.
The only thing you buy in this game that you guys do the show about is time.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's the most important resource other than money.
So Crafting Way in the chat said everyone should be slow farming Jedi Cal requirements. Oh, go ahead, Paul. Go ahead, bud.
Oh, it's funny that you say that. Other than money, dude, give me an extra month of happiness, I'll take that over $1,000 on crystals.
Oh, for sure.
Do you lose happiness playing the game?
You lose time. You get to spend happiness.
An extra month of happiness. Do you hate when you're playing it? I mean, I enjoy it
No,
when
I'm
playing.
saying
There's not really a trade-off.
Talking about the whole thing about which one's a more valuable resource. Would you rather have crystals in a video game or time with a loved one?
Well, time with a loved one, but I think it's a false equivalence that you're making. No offense, but it's like, okay, so the time, it's like, I mean, I'm gonna log in and do my dailies anyway. It's like the difference between simming the 5 attempts and then just like, okay, I'll get it later. It's the time element is like when you get it 2 months later. That's not like I spent 2 months like actively like, oh, I gotta focus on this. It's just you don't get it right away. Like the time you get is having the time equation is okay. I have this earlier. I get to use it for 2 extra months. It's not like I lose 2 months.
And also, happiness is subjective as well, because I am happy about unlocking things, but there's a lot of things in the game that doesn't make me happy. But I do love the game in general, or I wouldn't be here. But yeah.
I still drop a pretty coin on the game, but
yeah. But it's all subjective, right?
It's okay.
We all.
I still buy Sims expansion packs, so
There you go.
Alex is playing Sims on the mobile now, and she spends more time on that than hanging out with me anymore. She spends more time on that than I do on Galaxy of Heroes. It's funny. She loves the Sims. Anyways, so
for back to the Leviathan. So I think defensively it holds up.
Hey, hold on. I gotta interrupt you because there was something I wanted to talk about. Crafting Way said everyone should be slow farming Jedi Cal requirements.
Yes.
If you're going to get Malicos or you have JML, you should definitely go after Jedi Cal. So I told you I wanted to talk about this a few days ago. Anyways, people are forgetting that you're about to get this insane Malicos team in Grand Arena. Everyone's thinking about the Leviathan craziness. Everyone's thinking about GL Leia coming up, but everyone's forgetting Malicos here in the middle, and so
Malicos in the middle.
Yep, I like that. Torn meniscus in the middle. Paul, we call him torn meniscus.
Apparently, I guessed that. Context clues. I'm not that rusty. Jesus Christ.
Well, I am. I gotta put everyone on my level here. Anyways, I just wanted to say, don't forget about this dude, people, because the people are finishing with Leviathan. If you went right into Cal, they're probably going to be, by the time you finish your Cal requirements, Malicos is going to be unlocked, and it's just a natural progress. That's kind of what I'm doing with Avant is. Avant's working on them as well. You finished it, but I'm still right around where you are. And are you doing the same thing, Songeta? Are you working on Cal requirements right now?
Yeah. I mean, that's my favorites right now. Those are the ones I'm farming. And Tarful and Saw, I'm going to leave it Gear 12, but the rest of them I'm going to relic up. I'm really trying to push Seer faster, even though I'm still slow. She's getting to 7-star, but that team's amazing. I just relicked up Fulcrum. Probably need to put more on her too. But yeah, Malicos is going to be awesome. That team's already so good.
I actually want to put Fulcrum to Relic 8 for this team for when Malicos drops.
Yeah, it might not be a bad idea. Because then if you have 2 crazy damage dealers, and then Seer can be a pretty good damage dealer in her own way too. If you leave her alone, it's what do you do? Where do you target on that team?
I have Seer Relic 7 with her Omicron, and I pretty much use Kylo Ren Unmasked, Ahsoka Tano Fulcrum, Scav Cal, and sometimes Ninth Sister. I just want that extra tank of annoyance.
Yeah, that 5th one's it's nice that they're bringing in Malicos because it's just easy shoe in. But yeah, that team's no joke. I do want
excited about it.
Probably 7.
Yeah. And it's just nice that it's completely unaligned Force user. We now have it's cool because it's a hodgepodge of different characters from different, it's just different. Because they're all unaligned Force users, where you have your Rebels, you have your Sith, you have your Empire. even though people put Lord Vader with Thrawn, and there's like no timeline with that whatsoever, and you're just like, whatever, you go with it.
Yeah. No, yeah, it's a cool faction. I mean, it's definitely one of the strongest in the game. It started out as like a joke, like that's like such a mouthful. Unaligned Force user, you couldn't come up with anything better. But I mean, I still don't know if the name is that great. But yeah, it's a really strong faction. Actually bringing them together. I mean, I wonder. I don't know if it'd be actually good if you put like CLS in there or start doing that. Just stuff like that, like characters that are strong UFUs that have their own team. It probably wouldn't improve the team much, but it would be kind of cool to fool around with.
It's going to remain to be seen with Leia coming out. That could potentially dismantle the old CLS team. I mean, it still holds up.
I hope not.
Do some work in GAC.
Okay, well, speaking of CLS,
you're going to want Cheapio in this Leia Legend team. I just have this feeling.
In Grand Arena today, I gotta brag on myself. I'm 3 GLs, and I punched up against a 7 GL opponent. And today, I countered a JML Bastila lead with CLS. Did you guys know you could do that?
Was it
I've heard of it. I don't know how reliable it is.
It didn't have Luke in it. I think if you have JKL, you can't do it. But you can do it.
Did it have Watt?
Yes, it had everyone else. It had Revan, it had Watt, it had everybody but JKL. And I looked up on SWGOH, and if it had JKL, it was like a 33%. But it was 100% on a CLS team, and I did.
CLS with a Basti led JML, yeah.
I didn't know you could do that.
That's an old trick.
Yeah, 5v5. Yeah, I didn't know that. And everyone in chat was like, this is not going to work, and we pulled it off. It was insane. So I hope they don't take CLS away. I love that
teams that can. They're like one of the only teams that can stop Watt from giving the tank tick off. So,
literally, yep.
I mean, what if you prevent that? Then you can kind of pick apart the team. JML is not like a good solo master or anything, and he has to be in the if he's not in the lead, he's just like taking up space. He can do some ability blocks and stuff, but he's not like a huge threat. One time before YouTube, I tried to solo like a BAM team with JML for some reason. I was like, I got a Galactic Legend. And he just like timed out hardcore because he couldn't do anything.
Damage immunity, man. It'll get you too. If you
that'll get you. No, that'll get you.
But have you guys ever used Akbar on a CLS team? Mess around and try that like in Rote or something. It's
Akbar is trash.
But he's pretty fun because he gives you all that protection and stuff, so it'll keep you through. Because if I do just a CLS team with Chupio, with 3PO, I can only get through one phase. I usually can't make it through it. But when I put Akbar through it, I easily get through both phases. Just something to try. Something for people at home to try.
It's a trap. Don't do it. It's a trap.
Don't listen to
him. I'm smelling shenanigans. Wee little shenanigans. But I'm smelling.
Logan's a whale. He doesn't know what he's talking about. And Vaughn, he's just, I don't know how he got here.
Don't say it, Bones. Don't say I don't know what I'm talking about.
He does it.
Well, I'm glad you brought up GAC because I did want to bring up what have been our experiences so far with the 15-15s. Is this, I mean, if you're facing one and your team has one, isn't the battle really coming down to who has the better secondaries?
It comes down to who has the defense stats.
Yep.
So, like, if you use this, if you're doing a mirror match with the same comps?
Yeah. It pretty much.
Or it could just be a pure timeout.
Yeah. So I purposefully put my highest defense percent Datacron on my Java team just to make Java a complete pain. Or if I use him to attack, it keeps him alive.
Good move.
That ridiculous defense cron that I showed you guys, I've been putting that on my Lord Vader.
Yeah, that's also ridiculous.
I hope Fennec Sean just armor shreds the shit out of you.
Yes, Songeta, I think I put it on our Discord. I re-rolled till I got nothing but defense in this entire cron. I think it's like it's like 275% defense.
Dang. That's all of them. You have all of them and it's 275?
I'm sorry?
Every stat is defense, but it's 275.
I'm double
375. Okay, yeah, 375. I thought it would be like over 350. Yeah, that's crazy.
I don't have any Datacrons that I re-rolled stats for. But I think my I think my best defense stat, I'll pull it up.
Remember, we're doing a podcast. None of us can see this stuff.
Oh,
Yeah,
I'm
no,
sorry.
I know.
No, I was actually way off.
I remember saying that a lot.
The defense stat on mine is actually 375.96.
My best is
I pulled up the
184.
picture. I was like, that makes more sense.
184 is my best, but I didn't really try that hard to get stats. But I mean, those defense crons, those are the ones that are making GAC matches challenging. It's not the 15% health and protection. Like, I mean, that definitely helps, right? The stat is good, but I think the defense is what's making the matchups harder.
And CLS teams and Afra teams on offense are still chewing this shit up.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you can have a 15-15 cron on it, but, you know, like, I've seen a couple of crons out there where people are focusing on certain crons for offense, putting it on CLS, and they just bulldoze through you. Or with thirds or with Riva.
I'm hoping that the next Datacron set has defense penetration as one of the stats.
I think it's going to have it.
I love defensive penetration. That's my favorite thing in the entire game.
I'm afraid of what you actually mean by that. I was kidding. It was a joke.
I hope they do like straight up defense penetration instead of armor penetration or resistance penetration, because it's like if you can do defense flat, just straight up, not armor and resistance, you should do straight up defense penetration, not make people have to choose or look out or not.
For those listening that don't understand the difference, defense stops. It doesn't stop. It decreases damage from all characters.
Yes.
Armor decreases physical damage from characters. Resistance will decrease special damage from characters. And then also, like on the flip side, defense penetration will increase damage done through armor, and resistance penetration will increase damage done with special damage through resistance. So there you have it.
Yeah, I'm glad you pointed that out. Yeah, it can get confusing for people.
You watch. They're going to bring Dodge back. You watch.
Gosh.
They're going to bring
that's been forecasted for a while and thankfully hasn't come to
someone
fruition.
Mute Logan for 5 minutes.
They're going to bring back who?
Oh,
the Dodge
I was waiting for a spot to be like,
fuck.
Logan, stop it.
No, do not bring that back. That's one stat you should not ever manipulate in a video game, or like this kind of game, is dodge.
Right.
The smallest little intervals can break a game.
It was one time in my life where I was completely accepting of my moral stature by having over a 100% dodge cron for my Lord Vader, and I was a dick, and I was totally okay with it.
Oh my gosh, that made for the most painful.
Those battles were hurtful to the soul.
Yeah.
I just remember taking Slicker in, and he would just
whiff.
A swing and a miss.
Oh, it was painful. It was so painful.
Just woo.
What was funny in 3v3, like it would still work pretty well because you still drain the mastery even if they dodge. So then eventually you just do one poke and then do 1,000,000 damage.
Yeah, that was true. That was true.
But in 5v5, it was like, oh my gosh, Lord Vader. It was like that was at the beginning of when I was doing YouTube, and it was so bad that I'd try that battle first on my phone, and if it went terribly, I just wouldn't make a video on the Grand Arena because I just gave up. I was like, okay, I'll try to beat this. I'll talk about it, or I'll voice over it if it goes okay. If it doesn't, it's like I lose. I just can't do anything.
And,
it was so
and that's the thing. I mean, yeah, I was joking around. Well, I mean, do I think they're going to do it? Yeah, because it's CG. But I was joking. But I mean, if you thought about it, if they actually in this next Datacron set, if they did bring that shit back, you look at the teams we have now compared to the teams we had then. Can you imagine a full Relic 8 fucking Jabba team with a 75% dodge cron? I don't want to face that. I don't want to deal with that headache.
You would probably have to just use Lord Vader.
They're not bringing the dodge crown back.
That's a good point. Lord Vader's attacks cannot be evaded.
That is true.
Yeah, and Maul's like the one that Well, he can't be evaded at all, can he? Can his basic be evaded? I don't think.
I don't know the answer to that.
I also disagree. I also don't think they're bringing dodge back. Not in the same numbers.
If they listen to the community at all, they will not bring dodge back.
Right.
Wait a minute.
Maybe they don't
listen
actually
to the
plan the
community?
stats out though. Maybe it's just like a random like generator, and it's like pulls from like a pool of available stats, and it's like, oh, well, we got dodge this time, okay, and no one's actually checking it.
If that's how it works, I hope they put it on like a slot machine so they can at least watch it happen, because that would be more fun than a random generator.
No, dude, they do that 1980s lottery where it's like 12 midnight and there's the lady pulling the balls out of the little air thing and they're all flying around. That's what that shit's going to be, dude. That's how they pick out what stats are up. I figured cool. That's it. That's what they do. I'm telling you, that's what they do.
I love
they're doing
just wait till speed is on there.
Dude, Paul, I need you to help me. You don't have to do anything too much, but let's make a SWGOH game show.
I don't host anymore.
Yeah.
Silence. That was hard. Okay, moving on.
No, I feel like that's being done already because Tilo Mad and Calvin Awesome do that. Whose kit is it anyway?
Oh, really?
Yeah. Every time they do that, I'm like,
what about a segment? What?
Have you guys seen that trivia show that I was on and with Calvin?
I did catch some of that. Yeah.
Yeah, those are fun. He's only got a few episodes, but it's really fun. He does a good job.
What about a segment then? We'll talk about it after this, but we got to do something cool like that. That's my segment. You said I could have one. Be ready. Be looking forward to it, guys.
So what? For like 15 minutes of the show, you're going to be Bob Barker?
Bob.
Yeah, I'm down.
I'm Bob, yes. And then we can bring in Bob. We can make the floating head, and I'll try to develop it. We'll see what I can do.
You could do an actual Price is Right with like packs and like show people a pack and like have like prices where you can match to each pack. You can do an actual price.
And Songeta, how many yen you have to make sure, because people would remember U.S. currency. You have to ask, what is it in the euro? Closest without going over. Anyway, are we done talking about Datacrons? Can I bring Nev back?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to show a little duck on the screen for Nev to come back. There we go.
Yeah,
all right.
We are all falling asleep. But Songeta, if you want to be like my co-host or something, like, you know, where you show the things up on the... We'll talk about it later.
Oh, my God. We're going to go to a game show segment. Oh, Lord help me.
We're evolving. We're not just going to stay the same at all times. We're going to evolve this thing.
So with the rest of 5v5, Songeta, how have you? What's your record so far in 5v5?
Well, first week I'm 2-1. My video on the first match of this week is coming out tomorrow, so I will leave that up in the air. But it's going good so far. I had like a lot of trouble against Java first week or very first match. But it wasn't too bad afterwards. I mean, I did have to do a multi-shot in one of those. But I think I was just trying unconventional stuff that first round. Like I went in with Ray because I was thinking her mastery game would be enough to overcome them eventually. And if I had like probably another minute or two on the clock, it would have. But yeah. Other than that, it's not too much different than normal. Even though like I do feel, and you have to plan for that extra bulk. It's not too bad.
He's got a lot of that.
I think a lot of people put Jabba on defense. What's your usual attack strategy for Jabba?
I have yet to do the same thing twice. I think in one round I used JMK with Echo. I tried Lord Vader. I last season I always used Afra because I had a Datacron with like pure potency, and I didn't even do rerolls. I just got potency every single one somehow.
That actually does work if you had a potency cron. Yeah, that was working.
Yeah, I had 200% potency, so that worked really well. But this time, I still am not sure what the go-to should be. I mean, Supreme Leader Kylo or Lord Vader is kind of where I'm leaning on. But for JMK, I'm like, the reason I don't want to use JMK is because I don't want to use Echo. Like, I want to save Bad Batch. It's not that I want to save JMK, because that would be pretty much the best use for JMK anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, I haven't ironed it down. What about you?
I've struggled with Jabba a little bit in GAC, and I did it successfully with Lord Vader a couple times, and then I was like, man, you know what? People keep beating my Jabba when I put it on defense. Yep. I'm gonna try attacking with Jabba, and I've been mirror matching Jabba and getting 64 or 65 banners.
Sure.
Yeah, I thought of that. Yeah, I thought about that too. That's not a bad idea.
It's because the AI is stupid, and if you play it right, you can get your detonators out faster and damage enemies with detonators and get to your contract before the other Jabba does. And so you get contract and you get your ultimate faster. And I mean, as long as you play it right and you're smart, you can win. The only way it makes it hard is if Boosh resists the thermals. Like, you have to land thermals on her because you want to put buff immunity on Chrysanthemum and then just go all in on Boosh.
Right. Yeah, no, you do.
And if you kill Boosh, then you're most likely going to win. And if you don't
Boosh
win, then you're going to leave Jabba by himself. So it's an easier cleanup. That's
what you're what you're saying is people need to mod Boosh for tenacity if they want to put her on defense.
Yes. And if you want to use her for offense, potency and speed. But the only time I run into trouble is if it's a Relic 9 Jabba and there's a ton of defense on the Datacron. Otherwise, the mirror match generally works.
Yeah, that is the reason. I haven't really tried it because that is usually what I face. It's like usually R9 with some good defense. And plus, like, I almost brought him on offense for one round. Or no, I did the very first round. But after that, I started putting him on defense because I had so much trouble on Jabba, and like I've actually gotten some good holds with him too. So I feel like I can get more out of it on defense. But for mirrors, yeah, I agree. That's probably the safest way to win if you go in right.
I actually stopped putting Rey on defense and started using her for offense.
That's a real one you don't want to put on defense. She just gets destroyed by Starkiller.
She does. It's just
like it's so easy.
Whether it's 15 or not, she's still getting beat.
The question is, will Starkiller still counter Rey once the Mara Jade Datacron is gone?
That is going to be interesting because that Mara Jade Cron.
What's changed? What has changed with the team that would keep it from no longer countering it?
Extra damage.
Yeah.
From what? From just a Datacron?
Yeah.
Oh.
What
fucking Datacrons?
You hate Datacron?
We're not supposed to talk about those. Nev's supposed to be back.
Move along.
I love Datacron.
I've actually, I'm getting my ass handed to me this season. I'm 1-3, and that's normally not how I. It's not how I generally do business. But I don't know if it's. I feel like I'm actually kind of better at 3v3 than I am 5v5 now. I've just noticed. These again, I'm not going on a tangent about them, but yeah, these crons have made things a little more problematic in some instances. But there's definitely a couple things I've learned. Night Sisters with a Relic Marin are really nice offensively. Really nice.
I cannot wait. It
really is. It's taken out some. It's now put more counters kind of in my repertoire, which is really nice to have. I kind of got tired of putting gas on defense, so I use him on offense more often. I'm using Rey on
I never put him on defense.
And I did learn
is that because of CLS or.
I just don't like putting him on defense. I think even though he's not a banner efficient character for attacking.
Which one was this again?
For gas.
Yeah.
He's not efficient with banners, but the mechanics of his kit counter so many things so well that it's like it's advantageous for you to keep him to attack with because it will just derail the like quirky mechanics of whatever team you're facing.
And I feel like sometimes it's almost worth rolling those dice because while it may not be banner efficient, it's a win.
It is.
Yeah, a safe win is very valuable. Yeah.
And I have
You know
Pretty
what
much
counters
takes out
Night
any
Sisters with
non-GL.
Marin?
Night Sisters with Marin.
Gas. They can't revive. He just kills
Yeah,
them.
no one can revive.
Oh, yeah, that's why
Another good
I'm
option
not
is
putting him on
bounty
my
hunters.
XP. No.
They're Night Sisters should absolutely go on offense because you can do gas. It's pretty easy, and then even bounty hunters is so cheap. You just need to like avoid getting kills, and then you can just annihilate Marin and take it from there.
Yeah, and I'm now going to start using my Phoenix with Captain Rex on offense.
I cannot wait for that. I'm way far away from it, though.
You got a Relic Rex already?
Yeah,
No.
my Captain Rex is Relic 7.
Nice.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
I look forward to getting him eventually.
That he
That
put zero
team
effort
is
into
So
getting.
fast. With that Datacron, that team is so fast. And it doesn't do a lot of damage, but it's like everybody says, it's death of 1,000 paper cuts. But it actually, I feel, hits a little harder than a Mothma team. And once Captain Rex gets going, that team is just nonstop. And plus, with his data, it's a unique. So you're getting the Omicron. You're getting 5 Omicrons because his Omicron is on his unique. And because of Hera, that unique is being shared throughout the entire team. So that Omicron is being used 5 times for 5 characters.
It's true. He's an awesome character. I ranked him in my top 25 characters, even though we basically just got him.
Yeah, his kit was. I remember when we did the review on that, and I was like, "Oh, this is gonna possibly put Phoenix back on the map," and it did. Does depend quite a bit on the team lineup. I've noticed Chopper works really well. I don't use Kanan or Kanan, whatever. Let's not go down that.
Is it Kanan?
No, it's Kanan.
Depends who you ask.
It's Caleb Doom. Get it right.
Didn't they call him Kanan on the show?
It's Kanan.
It's Kanan, but Logan called him Kanan for an entire episode. So
because I never watched Rebels.
But
technically, it's Freddie Prinze Jr. So
my favorite was Urza Bridger.
I know one of the viewers said, "Jesus, old man, tell us you haven't watched Rebels without telling us you haven't watched Rebels." I just don't have time for that kind of shit, man. I don't. I'm a purist. I've watched the movies. As for a lot of the side cartoon shit, I just haven't really watched it.
What's the chick with the purple hair's name?
Sabine Wren.
No, I wanted Logan to say it.
Well,
I'm sorry. Sabine Wren.
Oh, it's Sabine.
This is like an episode of Key and Peele. You are the substitute teacher.
It's Sabine. Sabine.
I'm so out of touch with America's youths. Not with it.
One of the funniest skits ever, by the way.
Yeah, my name is Aaron, so I am Aaron very, very often. So yes, I get it.
I think I've heard your name before, but I just realized it was Aaron.
Yep, Aaron, that's right.
That's your new name, man.
G-Rogue.
Anyway, so is that all you guys got to talk about GAC? Avant, did you get to tell your GAC horror, your war story?
I'm 2-1 last round. I won yesterday, I guess today. I should not have won because I full cleared my opponent through all the squad zones, and then in the fleets they set a 5-star Leviathan and first order fleet, and then also a triple attacker.
Why would you put that fleet on defense?
Well, because they knew
first order.
Oh, first order, yeah. I don't know. They put their triple attacker executor, and they just knew that I was gonna attack that with profundity, get no assists, get dodged, and lose my profundity fleet, and completely derail any chance I had at being efficient with fleet attacks.
So, Avant, real quick before you continue on, can you explain what this triple attacker strategy is? Because I don't know what that even means. Like,
So
Not using Houndstooth.
how does that
Right.
benefit
You know
you?
what
though?
the trip attack strat is?
No, how's that benefit you?
I've been out of the game for how long, and I knew what it was.
You need to start doing the fist
You know who
thing
you're
in Bob's
talking to.
direction.
You know who
We're
you're
back.
talking to here.
Yeah,
Nothing's
yeah.
changed since the Skate
Yeah.
podcast.
Yeah.
I'm just in a different body now, a different celestial body.
Bob,
I'm
it's
still
basically a strat that people put on defense to trip up your profundity, which more often than not completely fucks up your entire ship strategy for that round of GAC.
But I'm asking,
Case in point.
what is it doing
So
in battle to do?
here's what happens. The Executor, if you take an Executor to mirror match, either with or without Houndstooth, it's a coin flip as to who goes first.
Yep.
If the other team goes first, they use the mass swarm assist and just completely blitz down and kill one of your ships. Unless the AI targets your Houndstooth.
Okay.
And so if you use Profundity will go first. And then you basically have to kill one of their ships before Executor gets a turn, which all that requires is that you attack, you crit, you assist, and then you assist. And then it kills the Xanadu Blood. If there's a dodge or if you do not assist, you do not kill Xanadu Blood, and then they mass swarm and take out.
Go.
Yes, you go to jail, and then you lose, and then you've wasted a meta fleet. So when you put it on defense,
that the game's broken and that you
hate
it.
It's not. It's not broken. It's just I lost the coin flip. RNG beat me.
Avant's a very positive guy for the game.
Good.
I mean, it is what it is. It's an RNG fest. It is randomly generated if what is going to happen, and then what I wanted to happen didn't happen. I lost the gamble, and then I lost the match.
and that sucks. But that's one thing that made me make that comment of, oh my god, why would you put Leviathan on defense? Because I have the Leviathan at 7-star, and I did put a video on our Discord of what a typical battle. I mean, that was actually on the lower end. I normally don't lose a ship, but I beat Profundity consistently with Leviathan. And the one thing about that I love the most is that I no longer have to sit through these Profundity mirror matches where your opponent will dodge 20,000 fucking times and you don't get one.
Do you guys not like Executrix versus Profundity?
So I have not tried that. I'm aware of that counter. But my opponent did not place did not place Profundity on defense. Otherwise, I would have absolutely tried that because it would have made more sense from like a strategy standpoint.
Yeah, because I always like to use Profundity on Executor and then Executrix on Profundity. And like, I've heard people complain that like, oh, Sight sucks because this other counter with like Darth Vader is the same win percentage as like Executrix with Scythe, but I think I've got it down to a more specific like order of operations where it's almost a guaranteed win. Because like you basically have to not use the special with your when your second TIE fighter goes. There's one TIE fighter that starts with like a lot of turn meter, and there's one that has 0 turn meter. And then when you get up to the one with 0 turn meters turn, you don't want to use the special. You don't want it to get foresight because then enemy Falcon's going to use the AoE and kill that to open up space for TIE Bomber. Because the win condition is just if you get TIE Bomber out, like first time you have a reinforcement available, you win. You win. That's it.
Right.
So
yeah, the assisting
felt so safe.
Have you guys ever watched Angry Video Game Nerd?
No.
I've watched Angry Joe show.
There's this he reviews bad games, and there's one called B-22 Bomber, and it'll go B-22 Bomber. But no, if you guys know at home what I'm talking about, then you get it. Move on. I just wanted to interject that. Because every time someone says that, it goes off in my head. I'll just have to show you guys the episode.
I don't think I've watched Angry Video Game Nerd since like 2015.
But so you know what I'm talking about. You've acted
Yeah,
like
I know
I'm an
what you're
idiot. Come on, you need to at least
You would,
acknowledge.
you would. You
Yes,
just
it is a
completely
thing.
screw on some like really
No.
original Nintendo games.
Just know that I'm not sitting here thinking about statistics when you guys are talking and like what's going to happen. I'm thinking about what's the next punchline I can or something just weird I can throw in.
Bob, you don't have to worry about that because the last thing that Avant and I think that you're doing is sitting there crunching numbers while we're gapping. Homie, you ain't got to worry about that. That's not even a possibility.
Almost every one of Bones' GAC streams, I have to type into the chat. What does this do?
Boy, what does this do?
All the time. What does this do again?
And you don't even know you're doing it. You're just saying it out loud because you literally don't know what the character does.
But hey, who's the king?
Or he
of Kyber
doesn't
3?
remember because he's too high.
Yes.
Well, that could be a possible explanation.
Possibly. We're not sure yet.
You are
anyways,
the king of Kyber 3, though.
yes, I am known as the king of Kyber 3.
You are.
Most people are telling me.
You are the Arnold of Kyber 3.
That's the word around town. That's what people are saying about me. I'm not saying it about myself. Okay.
Mr. Who says you're watching Reading Rainbow videos.
I'm still learning how to read. I just remember where to click. I don't need to read anything. So are you guys?
Butterfly in the sky. I can fly twice as high.
Hey, is Grief Karga the guy off Reading Rainbow?
No. Grief
Carl
Karga
Weathers?
was Apollo Creed, also known as Carl Weathers.
Who's the guy that did Reading Rainbow? They look similar.
That's
That was
Geordie
LeVar Burton,
That's
also
LeVar
known
Burton.
as Geordie LaForge.
And what did he do
Yeah.
besides that? Anything else?
Our LeVar
You,
Burton?
Yeah.
Lots of stuff.
I was gonna say.
I'll look it up later. I'll look it up later. Are we still talking about Grand Arena?
Say, Bob, this is why we know you're not crunching numbers.
Now I'm thinking about
Why
old
we
LeVar.
know.
I'll be looking up LeVar Burton movies while you guys are still talking.
I can't wait for the chat to tell us all about this.
So I do like this question. So Songeta, if there's one thing about SWGOH that you would change, or one thing that you would like to see done, what would it be?
I don't know. I mean, I kind of like how everything is. I would like the Datacron UI to be improved. That's like, it's just painful. Like, you can't cycle through it. I'd like to just be able to label stuff, and then when you're in that, you're like Datacron tab, just to be able to sort left or go left to right, and just better organization. Like, every time I have to like figure out, I'm like, what did I use here? Like, except that unless it's like on my defense and it just stayed there, I'm like, okay, what have I been using here? Where is that? I just gotta
a left and right arrow would be very useful, similar to like the character screen where you can just scroll through.
So
Yeah, it's
go back out, look at another, go back out.
yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm not like really negative about the game. There's like stuff I'm like, yeah, we could fix it, but yeah, I don't know.
What kind of because I think you'd mentioned it in your video, but just again, if you what kind of buffs or tweaks do you think they should do to Leviathan to actually make this what it should have been?
It's like a lot of it has to do with just the ships. I mean, I think you need better damage on the TIE dagger or something. There's a clause in the Leviathan's kit that reduces damage to like attacker allies from attacks out of turn. I don't think it needs to just be attackers. I think like you probably don't need it for tanks, but I think it could be attackers and support, because Fury is actually really fragile if you can get open at it. Like, it barely has any health protection. Yeah, there's some stuff. I honestly forget stuff I say in videos sometimes pretty fast. So there's stuff I was looking at the kit, but I think they need more ferocity. There needs to be an additional benefit when you have ferocity, because the buff itself isn't like that strong. Because like when what Darth Revan's team gets out of ferocity is just multiplied from the kit. It's like extra crit chance and then speed. It's an insane amount of speed they get for debuff. So if they have like 15 stacks of ferocity, then they have crazy speed. But with Leviathan, it's like, oh, you get one stack of ferocity maybe on one ship, once in a while.
Yeah, the one thing I kind of thought about, especially about ferocity, is that I feel like it's almost pointless until you get the ultimate off. I think
Yeah,
I think
at
it
that
actually
point,
hurts you because the more stacks you get from using the abilities, the more fragile it's making your ship. So one change that I would suggest is once you get seize the bridge, so like throughout the battle, you're not going to gain any stacks of ferocity at all. Once you seize the bridge, all your cooldowns obviously are refreshed. That's in the kit. You gain 100% turn meter, and each Sith Empire ally is granted 10 stacks of ferocity. At that point, you are going to tee off and obliterate the other fleet. That would make that ultimate worth it. So I think they should take ferocity off completely and add 10 stacks after seize the bridge.
Yeah, I mean, that would
all your cooldowns refreshed.
The problem with that is it'll slow down you from getting the debuffs out, right? Don't ferocity, does that count as debuffs to get to your specials?
Not on your own ships.
Yeah, not on your own.
Okay.
Ships. Yeah.
I don't know. I just like the whole fleet. It seems like you're moving at a turtle's pace until you finally get the Mark 6 interceptor, and then you can kill the tank. Before that, it's just a standstill. It's like, all right, you're not killing anything. They're not killing anything. Another thing I hate about the ship, I don't hate the ship, but like I hate that the specials can only be used once. And the way they are, like it makes sense. Like if you use them multiple times, it'd be kind of broken. But give us something like after you hit the ultimate, you can only do the basic, and that just feels like crap. It's just okay, one target. Yeah, you get fear, but I don't know. I want something else to do post ultimate because it still takes a long time. Maybe it's just me at 4-star, but it still takes a long time to win after the ultimate. It's like, okay, yeah, they're not winning, but it's like, am I got a timeout here? It's taking so long.
And that's the problem at 4-star that I've seen a lot of players going through is that they're hammering away at the Y-wing and they're just not making any progress.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you have no extra reinforcements. So, like, I already got my 2 reinforcements out. It'll be nice to get the 5-star. I don't know if I'll even have enough crystals to do that next time, but just even getting another reinforcement will do a lot.
What's the ship loadout and reinforcement you're running?
I have Sith Assassin and then the Mark 6.
I run EP Shuttle Mark 6.
I was doing that, and then someone was messaging me on Discord of how they were winning with the Assassin, and I was trying it out. It did seem to work a little bit better.
So do you call Mark 6 or Assassin first?
Assassin. Yeah, I do Mark 6 second just so I can get the Annihilate off, have a little bit more stacks.
Yep, that's what it is. You always bring the Mark 6 in as the second option. Yep.
Yeah, but the annoying thing is profundity. Like the way Mark 6 is, it's very tanky against a lot of things. Like if there's a big damage ship, it'll just take the hit and only lose 2 stacks. But profundity, especially Outrider, just melts Mark 6. One basic kills it because it's the 3 damage instances of damage, and then there's the 3 instances of true damage, so it's like 12 stacks. And then if it has its special available, it can knock out like 20 stacks. So it's like it just melts it.
And that's the risk of that fleet that doesn't make it very banner efficient on offense. Granted, it'll destroy profundity, but there's a good possibility you're not going to get the solid banners that you want. But you don't want to put it on defense either because everything's just rolling over it.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know how easily everything is rolling over it because Arnold did do a follow-up. And I don't know, maybe there's been more extensive Holdo testing that I haven't seen, but he tried again with Holdo and lost. I've tried using Holdo and I lost. I don't know. I don't think that's like reliable, but there's stuff that beats it, so it's kind of a question mark on defense.
I joked about trying Holdo against it in my GAC, but I have Holdo on defense because I just didn't think they would put Leviathan on defense. Yeah. And I was like really sad that I didn't have Holdo to attack with.
Oh man. Yeah, that would have been.
Okay, so I want
to the dinosaur lady.
The dinosaur lady.
I want to piggyback on that question about what he would change and everything. And I wanted to took that towards Paul. Paul, what big change could be made to the game that would attract you to come back to it? Could they do anything to get you to come back?
Good question.
Honestly, I don't think that there really is. And I think it's because it's run its course of the fandom for me. You know,
I have that feeling too. I'm just too stupid to quit. But I know what you mean.
You know, it is and isn't a coincidence that Hondo came out right before I called, you know.
Maybe that's what drove you, man. Maybe that's what drove you.
Hondo.
And then when you got your present, it wasn't the same. This is what was driving you to that point. But you know, I mean, you went out on top though. Like I think that was the perfect time to do it. If you were going to do it, you know, you had that big reveal with the developers, and
it was a really fun time, and it kind of it kind of felt bittersweet. But more things for people to do in the game. And I'm not talking sandbox mode or anything like that.
That's never going to happen.
More things for people to do in the middle of the game to just be able to do things. I don't want conquest where I have to have this energy to play with. Give me something to do with my toys. If I could play with my toys that I used to spend all this money on, that'd be great.
Yep. I agree. And they always say they're going to, but it's really like the top half of your roster, if that, every single time. Or they're going to make you use only 3 in their new raid. You can't. In the old raids, you could use your roster until they were all gone. Now you can only use 3 or 4. So it's actually going the other direction.
Avant, what would you change?
Oof. Before he gets into that, I'd love to hear that, but I gotta go, guys. Thanks so much for having me.
No, thank you. No, we really appreciate your time. We hope to have you on again sometime. Before you go, pimp your stuff. Let people know where they can find you, and spread the word.
Yeah, sure. I mean, I'm mainly just on YouTube. I don't do Twitch. So Songeta on YouTube. That's Songeta, and it is based on a contrived Dragon Ball Z reference of Son Goku and Vegeta. In case anyone's wondering. You can see a poster right there with them there too, in the corner. But yeah, check out my stuff. I do a lot of GAC and stuff. So thanks for having me on, guys.
All right, buddy. Take care. And come back again sometime, man.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
take care. All right.
No, folks, definitely check him out. He's got some really good content. He does roster reviews. He does GAC. He actually put out another very interesting video on phase 2 of territory battles on how to maximize your efforts. And so, yeah, he's very informative. So definitely check him out. So is it time to grab a basket? I think it's time to shop.
You didn't let Avant finish his what he would change in the game.
Oh shit, that's right. My bad. Well, I was giving him the floor anyway. But yeah,
it's all good. If there's some change, I mean, I liked the talk of Datacron UI interface changing. That'd be a good quality of life change. But I think if I were to pick something different, I would like to see, like, GAC is like one of the more fun game modes for me. I would like to be able to watch my opponent attack, like to watch the battle. That would be very, very interesting to me because I want to see like their strategy, like how do they play, like does my like how does the defense hold up, like what does the defense do, or like I don't know.
We had talked about that. And the reason they can't do it is they can't do the same RNG without recording specific numbers, and it's all client based instead of server based when it's the fights, and those numbers can be manipulated, so they can't give you a blow by blow from the offense. I agree with you that it would have been great to have seen that.
I like that idea, man, but I'm in front of my fucking screen enough as it is.
Part of the excitement though of like watching people stream their GAC is to see like how people attack.
Yeah.
Like I have learned so much about how to do GAC battles by watching streamers, because I'm like, oh man, I would have never thought to do that team composition, and the mechanics of that work so well. And so like it would be really interesting to just see how people approach certain battles, or like, man, why does my Ray die all the time? Oh, it's because your Ray is just set up to get crushed by Starkiller. And then like you learn over time that, okay, I faced a Ray team and they modded Ray for like offense, and she's Relic 9 and she just saber throws and slaughters people. And that is the Ray that I should have instead of my Relic 7 health modded Ray, right? So I don't know, it's interesting to see like how different team comps play out, and how different people attack different squads, and it would be really fun to watch your opponent attack you.
Yeah, because SWGOH.gg only tells you so much.
Yeah, it's a picture. That's it.
Yeah, that's it.
I agree. And this isn't exactly what you're saying. This is just random. But everyone talks about a sandbox mode. What if you could just go up against your own defense? You know, so it's up to you. So that would also encourage whales to take up other as high as they can, so they can get practice against their own defense. You know what I mean? That would make people want to. So I think if you could just go against your own defense that you have set up, which means you could change it.
If there was some sort of mode where, and of course, if something like that happened, they'd monetize it. Like, you know, $9.99 a month gives you that kind of option to have one team against a team of your choice on defense with your mods. Yeah, I here, CG is another $10. Not that I don't fucking give you enough.
And I mean, the Conquest Pass isn't. I wouldn't buy it, right? Even with the free proving grounds and all that shit.
I hit every fucking month.
But if they want to make someone like me pay for something, at a minimum, throw in access to something that doesn't benefit them. But if they made it only exclusive to like a Battle Pass subscriber, they now make money off of it because they can't figure.
$20, little man. Put that shit in my hand.
And if that money,
doesn't show the my jungle love.
Oh. What's funny is we sang that on the other show too.
We did.
But yeah, I piggyback on that. What about you, Logan? What do you got, man?
My change is actually for something recent, just because I've had more time to think on it, and I'm just not a fan. And I really hope this new raid iteration and the featured raid, and we all know what that means. You're only going to be able to get a certain kind of currency that you really need if you do the featured raid. I don't like this every 6-month thing. I think a lot of people invested some very, very important relic material to work on things like maybe Old Republic, or to work on things like maybe their Tuscans, or put a couple more relics into their Mandos, even though that wasn't on their priority. And now here we are about to be 6 months later, and you're now telling all those people that did that could have put those resources elsewhere. Well, now we've got something new for you. And I know, and it's like the flip side to that coin is people are tired of the raid already. It's been had. People know what to do. People know what to strive for. There's specific teams, mods, such and such, and have
the reward system is good though.
It is outstanding. But now it's, I mean, look at the list of stuff that's going to be available to you for this next raid. Any of you guys have your troopers past Relic 5? Because I sure as fuck don't.
Some of them, not all of them. Just a couple.
Yeah, maybe a few.
Yeah.
But I just, if there's anything I would change, it's that. If they release this new raid as soon as they're projecting, I don't agree with it. And I think it should be every year. Do something new every year and give guilds a more window of opportunity to hit that 265 box or that 235 box. Or no, is it? I know the one box is what, 195, then it's 265.
Or the 90 or the 135 box, depending on how ridiculous your guild is.
Well, we're pushing for the 265.
No, but we talked a little bit about this last week, and my sentiment is different than yours because I didn't take my Tuscans to Relic 7 because I didn't want to take my Tuscans to Relic 7 because fuck the raid.
Yeah, like what's so
Oh
important about
no,
that
you
box?
did something that you wanted to do?
Well, the big thing for me was the raid payouts. If I take and Calvin Awesome did a video about this. It was like, is the investment worth the squeeze? Like, is the investment worth the rewards? And the answer is no, because you have to take so many different factions all to Relic 7 just for and not just you, like multiple guild members have to do it. And then you get what? You get some extra raid MK3 currency,
A
but how
little
much?
bit.
Just a little bit, right? And so it's like, okay, well, yes, I could do that and I could do more damage in the raid, but you know what else I could also do? Something that I want to do and then I'll enjoy more. And that's the approach that I've taken. But I mean, it depends on your guild and what your guild wants you to do, right? Some guilds are more competitive and they're like, look, we need to get this box. That's not my guild.
Yeah. And in a nutshell, though, and I've said this before, like every week we talk about it, it's a fucking datacron put into a mode. If they're going to release them like we're thinking they're going to, it's a temporary mode that forces you to level up characters to use the mode, to use the datacrons.
It doesn't.
It's
temporary.
For the most part.
It doesn't force you. It like
strongly suggests.
And so does datacrons. So does
it
datacrons.
lures you in a little bit, and you decide if you want to or not. Just
well, I have to. If I don't want kicked out, I have to do it. You know, out of my guild. I mean, I know you guys love me, but if I just quit playing and I said, nope, you guys love me, you have to keep me in. You know,
I'm not gonna kick you out of the guild for not scoring 3 million points in crate raid. But I will kick you out if you screw up platoons again.
Dude, the silence I felt from you, Avant, like I was kidding and I had no there was no joking. I felt it from all the way over there through Discord.
Oh, I'm glad. I'm glad you felt the seething rage that I had for you.
Bones knows that TB officers don't mess around because I was his TB officer as well.
Yes, and I only got my slack. He only cut me slack because we were friends, pretty much, or I would have been out of there a long time ago. It's pretty much what's going on with mine now. But I love you guys. I appreciate you guys for putting up with me.
Okay, so let's wrap this topic up, and we'll go over to the thrift shopping topic.
Oh yeah, we gotta grab our baskets.
What baskets?
Okay, so for all the listeners out there, there is a thread in the Discord channel about thrift shopping. It's called Thrift Shopping Questions. So please put some questions in there as to like how, if you're not sure how to spend resources or energy or gear or whatever. I want to hear your questions, early, mid, or late game, doesn't matter. And I
want to add to that, Avant. Sorry to interrupt.
Yeah, go ahead.
I do want to say thank you for everyone who supports the show, who comes by every night and hangs out with us. And
hit the fucking button.
There you go. That was the lead up to that. Hit the goddamn button, people. That's all you got to do. And
it's right there.
And
you're exerting not effort. You're not even burning a goddamn calorie.
And if you're a kid and you don't know what we're talking about, it says subscribe. Get your parents' card. Hit subscribe.
If you're a kid and you're listening,
you cannot say that.
We're a lot like Fortnite. It's just as fun as Fortnite is. All right. So, anyways, continue, Avant.
Sorry. Okay, so this week's question comes from CS Wins. And the question is, all right, Avant, best use of my Get 3 currency. I'm in a 260 million guild running exclusively Rote. I don't have Watt and I don't have Cam. Limited conquest tunes. Should I buy the tunes or should I be buying Kairos? And this is an easy answer for me.
It actually is.
You should absolutely spend all of your Get 3 on Watt shards. And you should unlock Watt as soon as you can. Because Watt is amazing. He's versatile in so many different squads, whether it's with Sith Eternal Emperor, anyone really. He's gonna elevate any squad that you have, and he will be useful in many different game modes. And then from there, I don't know if this will be a popular opinion, but I think from there you should unlock Cam. Cam is good, and in your guild at 260, you're going to need 7-star relic Cam to fill out platoon operations in Rote. And if you don't have Cam, it's going to hold back your progress for unlocking some of those abilities and just getting more points. You get so many bonus points for filling out full platoon requirements in Rote. So I think you should go for Cam. And then once you have both Watt and Cam, then you're using that currency on Kairos. You could use it on some of the other stuff in the shop, but I think the overall value, the best value once you have both Watt and Cam is going to be those Kyrotechs, because you literally need them for every new character and to take every character to relics. So, yeah. Thoughts on that? Anyone else?
Well,
Bones,
since everybody else disappeared, I'll say that Mr. Who says, "What's a good place for Cam to land?"
Well, once you unlock Cam is good in your JMK lineup. He's good in your Qui-Gon Jinn GAC team because he gives extra speed boost to Galactic Republic Jedi.
I gotta work on his mods.
And he's a good character. You could also slot him in with Jedi Master Luke, and he does pretty good damage under JML. He
does. He has instances where he hits like a truck.
And he applies armor shred, and he can taunt and take the heat off of whoever else is taunting, and then switch forms and go attack mode and just slap. He hits really hard, especially at Relic 7 or Relic 8. So if you're trying to replace someone in a JMK squad, it would probably be Gas. The OG JMK squad was JMK, Cat, General Kenobi, Ahsoka, and Gas. You could probably take Gas out of there and put Cam in there. You could also put Cam with Padme, which Crafting Way said in chat. He really slots in nicely because of his Jedi and Galactic Republic tag. He can fit into a couple different squads. But if you put him with Galactic Republic Jedi, his unique ability is activated where he gives, I think it's 30 extra speed to everyone, which is pretty huge.
And combined with and also that's what makes the Qui-Gon team, it can be problematic because you add the Qui-Gon lead, that's just adding more speed.
And the reason I say you take Gas out of the OG JMK squad is because you're going to put Gas with 501st. And so it makes sense to slot Gas out, and you can just put another attacker in, and Cam can fill that role. So, Bones, you were gone, and I asked the question, does anyone else have anything to add? I had said Watt, Cam, and then Kairos.
Watt definitely 100% first. Watt just adds so much. He has so much utility throughout your roster.
What are we adding to? I think I left right after the question. What am I adding?
Oh, just do you have anything to add?
No, CS. Yeah, CS wins his question with
Okay,
his
I heard the
current.
question. Okay, you're good. I'm sorry. I'm just confused. I was gone from it. But I do have something to add that has nothing to do with anything you're talking about. But we just sang the we sang the Jay and Silent Bob song, and then I walked by after going to the bathroom just a minute ago, and my wife's watching Jay and Silent Bob. Isn't that crazy?
Perfect.
We're in the Matrix. Okay.
Perfect.
So I have
Am I in
nothing.
your house right now?
Also, somebody said Mr. Who, or someone said they're waiting for a lizard to crawl across your screen, Avant, with all the plants in the back.
Oh yeah, yeah. My wife's a plant lady. There's some shrubberies back there.
I like the plants. It adds some
Shrubbery.
Foliage.
Thank you for picking up on the reference, Paul.
All right, so I'm sorry to interrupt your thrift store. Do you have some more?
No, thrift shopping is done. The baskets are full.
All right.
That was it. It was a question for CS Wins, who is a very loyal listener.
Are you screwing us in thrift shopping like Goodwill is right now? Dude, I went up to Goodwill and they're like full price on things now.
No, I would never screw the fans.
Thank you, man. Thank you. Don't be like them.
All right,
What else?
before we get to viewer questions, you got to stall a little bit. I'll read them, but I'll be back in just a minute.
Oh shit.
Oh, we can do that. We can stall. Go do your thing.
Paul, start stalling, man. You're the king of
What do you
stall.
want? No, I don't host anymore, Bones.
I gotta, for good time's sake.
No, I'm not gonna sit here, and I'm not going to just spew things
take over, man.
for the sake of spewing things.
Take over. So, what's been going on in SWGOH? What are you working on, man?
Right now, I'm gonna be done with my last 2 requirements for a Jedi Cal here pretty soon, and other than that, I am in complete gear hoarding mode with all of my Ewoks highlighted, waiting for the inevitable next set of requirements.
Oh yeah, actually, we could talk about that because I was going to ask Paul. Paul, I mean, I know you don't play, but would you be excited about GL Leia if you were still playing?
You know, I still listen to what's going on. I still get the tags. And when I saw that there was a Galactic Legend Leia coming, I'm like, great. Once again, the leakers were true. And
But was it a leak or was it just educated guesses? Because it was the anniversary and it just kind of made sense. Or were leakers acting like it was an educated guess, but it was really a leak?
leakers were acting like it was an educated guess.
Yeah. And it's seeming like I've seen that a few times where they're a little too
I'm
accurate.
absolutely the last actual educated guess that happened in the community was when I guessed that we were getting Sonostaros BT trips, you know, to complete out the whole thing during the reveal. I gave out the other 3 in the reveal, you know.
I remember that. You killed
Unknowingly.
And Nev somewhat did Star Killer. He had a few other ones, but I think he covered all of them too. No, you're right. You're right. I don't know what we were talking about, but
No, what we were working on. I'm again. I'll be done with those last 2 Jedi Cal requirements very soon. I'm in a holding pattern. My Leviathan is 7-star. All my pilots have 6-dot mods. My fleet is good. I'm just waiting for Jedi Cal and again the next set of Leia requirements. Which, to be honest, I thought we were going to get this week. But
yeah, it's strange. It's been 2 weeks with just dust. There hasn't been anything. Just tumbleweeds through the galaxy. A space tumbleweed floating around.
Well, that
Usually that's about
radio is silent after they screw the pooch on something. So,
but also it's a great time to bring a washed up former content creator back on.
That's right, man. That's right. You're my filler. See, you couldn't get away from
say
it.
washed
You
up.
tried to, and
No, this is probably my last podcast appearance ever.
Come on, buddy. Come on, you got to do it
I
for me.
actually feel honored.
Yeah, I do too, man. I'm glad to see you again, even if it's the last time.
I'll say one of the first podcasts that I ever listened to was the Escape podcast. So
I remember
I'm full circle here.
I remember when some guy came in, called in my stream and goes, "You want to be on my show?" And I was like, "Sure, I've never heard of you." And I asked him about it. He's like, "Yeah, they've been around forever. I used to listen to them all the time." I was like, "Okay, whatever." And then we're here today. It's crazy how life works, man. It really is.
Paul and Scotty. I listened to Paul and Scotty.
Oh my god! That tells me that you are an original of the original 30 episodes.
I don't know what episode, but it was for sure very early on.
Pre or post Carrie?
Pre-Carrie.
Pre-Carrie. So you celebrated with us then.
I did.
Excellent.
Yeah, man. I mean, you guys had a lot of big names on there. You guys did a lot of cool things with the game. But I don't mean to say this, make this sound like sad, but nothing lives forever. But you guys had an amazing run, and you ended it with a good note. Because I don't know if you guys know this in the chat, but Paul, you got to reveal Afra, correct? At the very end there.
I essentially led into Afra. I knew Afra was actually no. I did not know that Afra was coming until everybody else did. But I got to reveal Afra as the solution to the puzzle that I hid in our video.
Okay.
That's right. That is good. Yep.
And once again, going farther back, that was the last big puzzle that CG did. It involved Gridden and Cubs Fan Han, who are no longer with us either. So that's actually a gem of a moment right there, because Cubs Fan Han, Gridden is no longer with us. It was an awesome, fun time. They had to put some weird ink they had to heat up some ink. They had to freeze some ink. It was just really fun. And it led into you, Paul, or was it somebody else before you?
No, there was a whole thing. Controlling a vehicle through a maze, and then it led to a game show hosted by Crumb that had Kate, Ranger, and I don't
remember. Yeah, I was sleeping at this point because this is going on all night, isn't it? Wasn't it?
Yeah. Plus, I'm under the effects of some medicine right now. And then it ended up going to us after a strip puzzle. So, yeah, it was a really fun time.
Yep, and good old days, my friend. Good old days.
To say also, Paul, I think you and Nevin, in a lot of respects, were kind of pioneers for content creating for SWGOH, because when you look back on it, there's really only one other content creator that I know of that had your kind of production value, and that right now that's Arnold. I mean, everyone else, yeah, they have an intro, but basically everyone is looking at either their plants or their Steeler shit, or you're looking at Bob, unfortunately. So I mean, those are the things that we're all looking at. Whereas you and Nev were always in the Falcon.
Bob in his chair.
You had a great intro, and that's kind of what Arnold has, that same level of kind of production, of presentation, and everyone else again has an intro, but they're like, well, here I am, I'm in my room.
Yeah, and, you set a standard that, of course, we can't really do. We're kind of like a baby we're like the Escape podcast baby, right? It's kind of what came from us. But
the important distinction is I could try harder if I wanted to.
I feel like all three of us could, but we're just like, we're good.
Right. I'm just lazy when it comes to that stuff. I'll agree with that.
I don't care. So you guys can look at my wife's plants and my diploma and my Peloton bike in the background. I just don't give a shit.
Dude.
Yeah.
But
well, I mean, the fact that you don't give a shit is actually the better point of it, Yeah.
If
it wasn't for what I do for a living outside of this, building this whole studio that I sit in to do my work now, it would have been pointless. It would have been utterly pointless because once the flavor of the week died off, it ended up becoming a desolate wasteland. This, I don't mean to be the episode of Paul Bears all for you there, Logan, but
no, you're good, man.
This is an unfiltered podcast, so please go ahead and give it to us.
No, by all means.
Yeah, brother. Yeah, we're not like Escape Podcast was. You hear me, man. We're saying what the fuck we want to.
Whenever Paul had me on, I had a quota of F-bombs I couldn't drop. I was given a number, and usually like get one mistake, and that's it.
Because
fuck, I better get it out of my fucking system now. God fucking damn it.
Well, I almost forgot. There was a period where Paul and Nev stepped down, and Kane and Old Man filled in for the Escape Podcast. Us three were the Escape Podcast. And
we tried doing 2 shows a week, man. It was
just stressful for everybody. I mean? We tried. It just wasn't natural, But yeah, we were, and then it turned into what this is today. But
here we are,
and it's all thanks to you, buddy. All thanks to Mr. Ducky.
Paul, I think my favorite segment that we've done week to week is the viewer question segment, mostly because like the people that we interact with and that join us on Discord, like they enjoy the game because we all play it, but they ask some like really random off game questions.
It's the Patreon's choice segment. It was always a fun little wrap up kind of thing.
Yeah, we get very excited. The show's over. I'm hungry.
I'm very excited to hear your answers to some of these questions.
Indeed, I am too. We've got some good ones. We do.
I can take more medicine here real quick too.
That being said, I'm going to segue us into viewers' choice questions. And for the viewers that don't know, if you go into our Discord, there is a thread called podcast comments or questions. I will either Bodhi, it's usually Bodhi or myself, will draw a line and read the questions from that line and below. So,
and let them in if people have them that are watching right now live. If they want to throw them in and they have questions for me, throw them in. Let's do it.
Throw them in.
All right.
Highlight or just ask. Ask away, fellas.
All right. Well, Avant, take it.
So the first question is from CS Wins, which Logan, you kind of asked already when we had Songeta on. Is first, CS Wins says, "Hey fellas, as always, thank you for the work that you do. First off, if you could change one thing about how CG runs the game for better, what would it be? I.e. testing their shit, better at listening to feedback, working with content creators, better quote-unquote deals, etc." So we kind of already answered that.
But I do like the working with content creators. I just feel like there can be a mutual relationship between them.
I can find another one.
Don't hold your breath.
No, I'm not. But I'm saying there can be. If
you have to remember, you also have to work with EA. Your product has to be something that EA is going to be fine to say, hey, no matter what your age, go watch this.
Yeah,
that's not
so us. You have to think about that as well. I'm sorry, but
no, you're right. You're right about that.
You haven't shattered any of my dreams, Paul. It's okay.
Yeah.
only, No,
you're not wrong.
Only hopes.
You never.
Okay.
Yeah. For CS question, I do have a quick one I wanted to add in.
Go ahead.
So I'm sorry that we kind of answered this question already, but I obviously I'm a spender, so as I'm sitting on my yacht, I tend to go through the store quite regularly. And there's one thing that I have noticed that I would like them to start doing differently. I feel like the future and the continued growth of this game, it's not in the hands of the whale. I think it's in the hands of the average consumer. Now, if you are a spender and you're a light spender, let's say you have 20, 30, 40, maybe $50 a month. That is
perhaps a largemouth bass, as Paul called me once on the Escape podcast.
So let's say that's your budget. I would like CG to start expanding the market for that typical consumer and start having packs that are more appropriate for that consumer instead of a $50 pack that might be all the expenditure that somebody has for a month, but they really want those Omicrons, or they want that mod box, or they want this relic box. I want to see more of the $9.99 packs or the $4.99 ones where you get the Chirotech. I want to see more of that stuff.
Something that would entice me is someone who would be willing to spend like 10 or $20 is a pack full of energy, like lots and lots of energy, so that I could quick farm like tons of relic material or tons of fleet energy to get Gear 12 plus pieces, like something where I feel like I'm gonna get value for what I want.
Like you're getting what you're spending. You're yeah, absolutely.
Hey, I have a question. Earlier I was playing, and I'm just so used to exiting out the pop-ups, but I saw what was in it, but I didn't see the price of it. I saw like a bunch of all the energies, and you get 1,000 of them. Do you guys know what I'm talking about?
$20, maybe $40.
No, it was $20. I bought it.
I think it was 20.
I was hoping it'd be crystals.
Here's one that would possibly be enticing to a returning player. Getting all of your gear back and placing it how you want now, if you haven't been playing for X amount of time, a $20 respec. How about that?
And you know what's funny is I just thought about
a full roster refresh. That would be very interesting.
A roster respec if you haven't played for X amount of time.
But they're
going to charge you more than $20 for that.
Yeah, they'll put $100 price tag on that channel. That's 100 bones in your face. That's
but like, that account has to not have been accessed for more than, I don't know, let's say a year. Do you really want to wait a year on an account and then spend $100? No. But after a year of being dormant, $20, that could get you back in. But I'm not going to go spend $100 to respec a year-old account that has no characters that are new, that you wouldn't be able to go for the new fresh meta anyway. With that respec.
Very enticing idea.
Really
and I think that would maybe be a good way to bring back a lot of like burnt out players that are fed up with stuff.
And it's funny you say that, because that was gonna be one of the things I said that they should bring to the game, was some kind of respec system, because there's other gotchas that do that. The more friendlier ones, obviously, because that means you can build someone up. If you don't like him, you can just break him down and use him somewhere else. But I just don't think they're going to want to do that, because in their mind, it's not worth the effort for the money.
Dark Souls games let you do that.
I love the idea, though.
If I don't like the build I'm running currently, I go respec.
But it's not an online, it's not a gacha game, though. You pretty much pay for the game, and that's it.
Yeah. All right, what else we got for...
So CS Wins always asks a multi-part question. So secondly, what's the best cut of steak for each of you? Personally, I'm a tenderloin type of guy, but I'll never say no to a good T-bone. Insert George Costanza line here.
Well, I have two, actually. I'll take either or. I don't really have a favorite, because if you do it right, you season it right, you sear it right, they're both outstanding. A good New York strip or a good filet.
Those are both two great things I love, but you can't get the little fatty chewiness with a filet that you do with a New York strip that's cooked medium well. medium rare after being marinated in Worcestershire for 24 hours, along with some red peppers. There you go.
My stomach literally started growling.
If
It's
if
the-
I'm cooking, if I'm gonna cook a steak, I'm gonna cook a bone-in New York strip. But if I go to a restaurant, I'm gonna order either a ribeye or a Delmonico.
Delmonico is a nice cut too.
Oof, I got a Delmonico from a local market one time. It was on sale, and I was like, Delmonicos are on sale? I've never cooked one of these before, but the price was too good to pass up. Oh my God, that's the best steak I've ever grilled. It was delicious.
Does Philly cheesesteak count?
No.
What is the Philly cheesesteak? Is it just shredded steak?
It's
Or is it its own
I
kind
have
of steak?
so many mean things to say to you right now that I'm just gonna keep to myself.
I'm not a
Where's
connoisseur of meat, to be honest.
just,
I see you guys in your Discord grilling thing, but notice how I never comment because I'm just
you've
like,
never put one goddamn thing in there. Not once.
I'll start posting my wife's cooking. It's amazing.
Christ, you know what? Just one day, make us happy. Grill a fucking sausage, post the picture, and make us happy.
You're gonna
Just
be.
do something simple, Bob. Holy shit!
I honestly
Not-
don't
Okay.
care. Is it cooked enough where I
Brief-
don't get sick? Give it to
Brief
me.
dive into Avant Docs. I'm a physical therapist. I went to PT school in Philly, so I had many different cheesesteaks while in Philly. For anyone who visits Philadelphia, do not go to Pat's or Geno's. They are tourist traps, and they're terrible, terrible cheesesteaks.
Proper cheesesteak.
Just stay away from Philadelphia in general.
Well, that could be probably a safe bet, but it's a cool
I'm
city.
only saying
and
that
there's
because of the Chiefs. I only meant that because the Chiefs beat them.
It's a cool city. There's a lot of good restaurants and a lot of good culture in the city.
And they keep talking shit still to this day. Talking
And
shit.
they'll throw batteries at you if you're Santa Claus. So
Yeah.
there's that too.
And
but
we
I
have
think
barbecue in Kansas City. We don't need Philly cheesesteaks.
You know,
I think it depends. It depends where you go in Philadelphia, but they will use different steaks. But I think they chop ribeye or sirloin, and I think that's what they use for their cheesesteaks. So there you go.
So we universally
Bob,
decided that Philly cheesesteak is all our favorites.
I'm just gonna say, you are the NFL fan that people love to despise. You're having your
Just like
moment.
Mahomes, baby.
You're the fucking Chiefs fan, but you know what? A dead clock's right twice a day. Your time is here, and your time will end. But
I'm a
goddamn,
Browns fan, and
Okay.
I feel pity for you.
yeah, milk it for all it's worth. Well, your Deshaun Watson maneuver, I don't even have words. But
Tip of the hat
I mean,
to you.
you hate it. You might as well just go with it.
But that's for another podcast.
Yeah, that's for another podcast. All right, what else we got for questions?
By the way, I posted steak in the podcast questions thing that I cooked recently. So there you go. I even posted something that I cooked. Bob.
So I'm skimming through CS Wins' comment here.
Bob,
Finally, what is, in your opinion, the best flavor of potato chip? For me, it's got to be all dressed. I believe it's only available in Canada. Favorite potato chip flavor?
I have a bag of all dressed here that Dickie Darkside sent me. But best potato chip, sour cream and onion Pringle.
Before we go any further with another food topic where I'm going to go to bed hungry, what's all dressed? What is that? All dressed potato chip? What is, I've never heard of such a thing.
Let me get the correct explanation.
Does it involve poutine?
It can.
Why he's looking it up?
All right.
Inquiring minds want to know.
I,
I've never heard of such a fucking thing.
do you guys
All
remember the?
It's a mix of ketchup, barbecue sauce, sour cream and onion, and salt and vinegar.
Dude, that's sensory overload.
I
There's
bet
like-
your mouth is fucking on fire. Like,
dude, your brain is confused.
Yes, it is.
You don't know what to do with
I
that.
wanted to make sure that I correctly explained it, so I went to the Wikipedia article.
Perfect. Bones, favorite potato chip.
They don't have them anymore. But remember when Tostitos had Takis, but they were just plain Tostito chips? Those. I like plain Tostito chips. Without, I can eat them without salsa, without cheese dip, and I can eat a bag in a sitting. I'm a dry guy. I'm a plain dude. That's how I like my stuff.
Yeah, we know. You don't put anything in grilling and chilling. We know you're fucking plain.
Oh, dude,
Next thing you post in there is going to be a ramen noodle.
Logan, I ordered the boy wings, and he got honey barbecue.
For Christ's sake.
And one of them gave me about killed me.
Yeah,
Logan?
he tried to fire in the hole for a moment, and then he cried. And I'm not saying that to shame him, because fire in the hole is very, very hot.
And
But we warned him many, many times before he tried.
Fire in the Hole is also a classic ride in Branson, Silver Dollar City. If anyone's ever went.
Good.
Have you been? You're from Missouri. I know you've been, Paul.
I'm not from Missouri.
I thought you were from Missouri.
Oh,
Oh, I always thought
I'm
it was
from
weird.
Toledo, Ohio.
Christ.
Oh fuck! What's your name again? Who are you?
Right?
I did not know that.
So
Who's
for
from
me,
Missouri?
I have to have a really good pico de gallo, but I like Tostitos black bean and garlic.
Okay.
So
For
my
me-
chip has to have an accessory.
I'm gonna give a two-part answer because I'm complex. One,
Avant's bougie.
Utz crab chips because I'm from Maryland, and if you've not been to Maryland and had Old Bay seasoning, you're not living.
You don't know exactly.
The other choice for me is gonna be Mike's hot honey chips.
You are bougie. I don't even know what the hell you're talking about.
Says the guy who eats plain.
Yeah, he's a bougie thrift store enthusiast.
Okay, I'm gonna cut you off.
Bougie shops at a fucking thrift store.
Thank you. The irony of that statement.
You can be bougie there. Trust me. Take my wife.
Someone's going to a thrift store to look for Louis Vuitton.
The last part of CS Wins' comment, he says, and shit, before I forget a segment for Bones, I think something like coming up with that he thinks the new marquee should be to follow along with the GL tuner ship we are currently working on. Generally, the game follows a pattern of 2 to 3 months worth of tunes for a GL ship, 2 to 3 months worth of tunes for a GL, then new factions and lifters for old factions. Could do something bi-weekly to keep up.
All right. I said I need a segment. I'll keep that in mind.
Next
Yeah,
question.
no, we are. We're brainstorming possible segments for Bob, and it's at this point I'm going to recommend a fucking cooking show.
And when my brain starts storming, it's not good. So
I know.
give it time.
Let's continue.
Next question is from NRM53. Hey guys, just wanted to see with you guys, but I'm getting back into running a guild and probably looking at 300 mil or so.
Oof,
Won't really know until after TB is over and everyone heads there, but we were getting 14 in the crate. I assume that's 14 million in the crate rate prior to me leaving and disbanding our guild basically. When I'm back in charge, as long as we're around that 14 area, I'm definitely going to have us push for Riva. Do you think this is wise? I'm one Inquisitor from Grand Inquisitor myself. Then the main thing I'm wondering, do you think Cal and requirements are worth the rewards at our level? Or is it worth working on? Thanks in advance and can't wait to hear your opinions on it.
I'm going to go with the Cal rewards right now. If he's looking at 300 million, no,
Yeah, I agree.
not even close.
And then the other question was, should they push for Riva?
Yes.
I agree. Absolutely. You should push for Riva because Riva is worth the effort.
But I mean, at that low of a GP, you're gonna have to
Still.
make it kind of uniform. You know what I mean? You can't be too casual about that at that low of a.
No, but if
GP.
your guild is 300 million and you're going to exclusively run Rote, going for Riva will pay dividends because it will help you in different parts of the game, and you can also recruit players because you're earning Riva shards.
Oh, I agree with you.
Because that is very valuable.
I agree with you tenfold, but the guy in particular that's asking, you're going to have to tell people that come in there, we need you to start working on your Inquisitors if you haven't already.
Avant Crafting Way had a really good comment on this. Crafting Way said, how many stars does it take away to push for Riva? You need to hit phase 3 mixed.
Doesn't take any stars away because
it's a treasure territory. You're getting a shard for Riva.
But Riva is in the 3rd sector of the neutral alignment. So you can get there very easily. And even if you're not doing, like, if you're not getting through many sectors, you focus neutral first, you can unlock that sector by phase 6 very easily.
And you just
even if you like alternate around the map, you'll get to the Riva sector. And yes, you should do that. You should absolutely go for Riva.
You can still get about 24 to 25. That's what we were getting, and we were preloading with Riva.
And that's fine. For a smaller guild at 300 million, getting 20 to 25 shards, that's actually damn good progress.
Yeah.
Okay, well, why don't you join us? Because we're 400 million getting like 6 shards. So,
do you have Riva yet?
I don't have my GI yet. I'm working on him now.
Don't make me roast Bones live on air here.
I love getting roasted. Let's hear it.
Wait a minute. Is that going to be every week's segment? We roast another part of Bob's roster? Because he doesn't roast anything anyway because he can't cook. So we can roast his roster.
Roasting with Bones.
Roasting the bones.
This is my segment, not your guys'. That's your guys' segment, roasting me. How is that?
You wanted a segment, but we created a segment where we roast.
But I want to hear your roast. What were you about to say? Let's hear it.
I know that'll come later.
Okay.
Tune into next week, please.
Yeah.
Next question is from Drew.
It would actually be a bones grinder, not roasting bones. You'd be a bones grinder.
So many.
And that could also be a segment title.
Yeah.
At one point, he was the Bones Collector.
Yep.
Instead of the Rolling Stones, you got the Rolling Bones.
Oh, fuck. You guys are... My brain's starting to hurt. Slow down. So many good ideas at once.
I know. We're going to nail this down. We're going to get it. We're going to figure it out.
So Jack says it's not just farming the Inquisitors. You need to fill those platoons to make the mission easier, and that's going to be hard at low GP.
Yeah, I mean, there is a case to be said for that, but you are going to have some people that have decent enough mods that even without some of those platoons filled, you should... I mean, yeah, that extra character in that mission does add a more complexity to the Riva mission, but it's not. It's still
your resident TB officer here. The sector for Riva does not require cam, and so they are all things that average mid game players can take to Relic 7 and fill those platoons out to get the operation bonuses without needing cam. So you can do it, and it's very reasonable.
It can be done, but it's going to require him he's a guild leader, right? It's going to require him to,
but you have to focus, and you have to gather your troops and orient them to the goal and get people to follow through.
Translation, you need to herd 49 cats.
Yes, because it's not going to be as easy as it we could say this, but it's not going to be easy. So if you can, it's like an orchestra. You got to keep it going at all times. It's going to be a job. It's a fucking job.
Some wise man once said, "Pimping ain't easy." So no,
but it sure is fun.
You are rounds on target, accurate with that one. All I will say to the I can't remember the name, the poor soul that asked that question. If he's going to be a guild leader, I really hope that bloke is single, because shortly after being a guild leader, he will be. That's a fucking time commitment right there, man. You want to be
follow-up comment is, if you get tired of it, just come join us and you'll have fun. I'm always looking for new energetic members in Valley of the Sith Lords.
Yeah. Well,
only if you can get Reva. Otherwise, don't even try.
If your roster is high enough, or I think there's an opening in Death Star port designers. I'm not 100% sure. I'll have to check, but you never know.
Yeah, and that's why they suck. Cause they developed the starport. No one likes.
That's the gag. That's the gag.
I know.
But hey.
So Bodhi said herding cats is easy. You just need to find the right whip. And where there is a whip, there is a way.
I feel like there's so much more subliminal meaning to that statement.
Oh, I don't know, but it's from the Lord of the Rings cartoon. It's a song.
Next question is from Drew. I know we all give CG shit for underperforming on kits and rewards. Anyone else think maybe they launch stuff with underwhelming rewards and then let the community complain and give them ideas on what we want? We should all pull together and next time tell them we want more.
Did Nev send that in?
No, it's from Drew. It's not from Nev.
Yeah, it's from Drew. I feel like I'm not really in a position to debate him, because I think that's a distinct possibility. I mean, we don't really know what's going on behind the scenes. That very well could be the case.
I'm not much for the community strike and community let's pitchfork and complain group, but like, I understand the sentiment, but I don't think they're purposefully underperforming. I think they just don't test shit the way they need to, and that's why it happens like this.
I mean, I think they do.
We can sit around the conspiracy campfire, but yeah, I think it has more to do with they're just not testing their game. Or
maybe the intern's getting tired of just working on the old laptop that they've had for so many years. But no one's
It's an old Dell laptop. It's like 12 years old, and it just turns off after being on for 30 minutes because it overheats.
I was just about to say, it gets too hot. They're trying their best. They just don't have a laptop that's modern day. Cut them some slack, fellas. All
right, okay, next question. Extreme Makeover Alderon asks, what's your favorite Guns N' Roses song?
None.
I already answered this.
Nuns and Roses.
Yeah, you did. You're not supposed to answer in the Discord, old man. You have to wait till the podcast.
That question, I was so compelled to give an answer. I had to.
Okay, Bones.
So this is funny. This has been like an argument that I've had with people throughout my lifetime. Like, this is and it always comes up.
I feel like
you're going to say November Rain, aren't you?
I think Guns N' Roses is one of the most overrated rock bands ever.
Okay,
wait a minute. I think Bob and I are finally going to actually 100% agree on something.
Yeah, I think they're terrible. And also, my uncle was trained by a guy who beat up Axl Rose. He trained him in animal training, and the guy beat up Axl Rose at a bar one time.
That sounds like a fake story.
It's not, no, because my family, we raised tigers, lions, bears, and all kinds of shit. And,
oh my!
I can vouch.
And my uncle is he was really good, and he was trained by the same guy who does all the Hollywood training. And my uncle was
Tiger King like stuff, or
Tiger King was 1.5 hours from me. He lived in Oklahoma. We lived in Kansas. I never met the guy. I didn't know I never knew who he was. But My uncle might have. I don't talk to my uncle anymore. But no, so he was trained one of the best. So this guy lives in Hollywood. He does all the big. We actually had the tiger from Gladiator. He did anything. Time you see a bear or anything, this guy did it. But yeah, that guy beat up Axl Rose in a bar one time, I guess. That's it.
All right. Well, I'm
just because I want to stir shit Chinese democracy.
I think Slash is a very talented guitar player. I do, and the man can wail. He can definitely play a mean guitar. But I'm sorry,
I love his hat.
I am. I'm 47. there was some amazing rock in the late 80s and especially early to mid 90s. But Axl Rose's lyrics and his voice was nails on a fucking chalkboard.
In true Avant Docs fashion, I'm going to give a two-part answer. My first song, according to my backdrop, should be Welcome to the Jungle. My second song...
I love
son
it.
of a...
Sorry, pause
Say it,
for
Paul.
dramatics.
Say bitch now. You do not bleep yourself out.
So I was born in 1987, so I have a lot of like early childhood memories of like things my dad would tell me about like what I did as a kid, and he used to play Appetite for Destruction all the time. And me as a young buck, I knew a lot of Guns N' Roses songs apparently, and Sweet Child of Mine was one of my favorites. So that is my actual answer.
Okay.
But Welcome to the Jungle, because
I'm sorry, but I don't hate you for it. Your love for your dad and your music. My dad was my dad was a Doors guy.
Yeah, that's a childhood memory with your old man, and I can't.
And what's funny, Yvonne, is I have those same exact memories of my dad, just like different bands. Like his was Doors and Led Zeppelin and stuff. So right around there. But I know exactly what you mean by that. And I think I wouldn't even listen to those bands if it had not been my dad playing it around me when I was younger, right? Or I would just be listening to rap or whatever was speaking to my generation at the time. So if you listen to classic rock, make sure you show younger kids, whether they like it, force them to listen to it. So later down the road, they will appreciate it.
Next question comes from TK. TK asks, will the next Conquest tune be a Leviathan lifter?
No.
Mind you, there's already 2 Conquest tunes tied to it.
Yeah, no. They're done. This fleet is out there. This is what you're working with. No.
If they did that, I mean, we'd all bitch about it, but we keep playing, I guess. We all agree.
The fleet doesn't need a lifter. The fleet needs to have the bugs fixed, and it needs a small. It just needs a small oomph. It just needs a little kick in the ass to get it going a little faster than what it does, and that's about it. But the bugs need to be fixed. It does not need a lifter unit. That's preposterous.
There's not much to really talk about that.
I already put it in the Discord. That's, as Stephen A. would say, it's blasphemy.
He's a bad man.
Yeah.
The next question is more of a comment. It's not much of a question, so I'm going to skip over it. So, Sardo Carr, I'm sorry if I skipped over your question and it's misinterpreting, but it's more of a comment about Leviathan. So I'm going to go down to the next one.
Fair.
Extreme Makeover Alderaan. What character do you think has fallen off the most? As in, who did you used to use all the time and now you never use them anywhere?
My Imperial Troopers.
Really?
I don't use them. Where I'm at, it's just I'm seeing, like, even if they place Revan teams, I'm sorry, I hate to go back to it, but especially with the 15-15 Datacrons, I'm not using my troop. In fact, I've kind of gutted my troopers to make more of a potent Iden team, like a double tank Iden team, especially with the 15-15 crons. Because Wampa, time's out.
I started to see Thrawn fall off.
Yep.
And that was disappointing to me.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, Thrawn still has some utility with Lord Vader on certain team lineups, but overall, as like a lead, I mean, his fracture is still one of the best abilities in the game, unless you're putting.
But you need to get to it now.
Yeah, you do.
But I think that the next set of GLs is Ahsoka and Thrawn. There's only one Thrawn. Thrawn looks different than the one we have in this. I think we're going to get a Thrawn GL. I think you're going to get an Ahsoka GL, probably, here soon.
Thrawn looks different.
He does.
Yeah, live action instead of animated Bones.
And his face looks different. I'm not being the ones that are like hating on it. I think I'm excited about the show. I'm over the moon about the show. But he looks different. So they can go off the live action model more than the cartoon model and make it the Ahsoka GL. And Ahsoka,
I mean,
there's not a live action version in this game of Ahsoka. Yes, there are there's a lot of them, but they're all from the cartoons. None of them are and she looks different because yes, she is live action, but it's a different face, it's a different facial structure, so you can tell the difference between them. But anyways, I don't know where I was going with that.
For me, that answer is easy. It's Enfys Nest. Enfys Nest was so dominant when she came out, and she could like solo so many teams in Grand Arena or Territory War, and she's like really kind of fallen by the wayside. I would love to see CG pump her up to the absolute monster that she was attacking in like any game mode.
And I think what caused a lot of that is that you got so many more kits now that are hitting under protection. And you've just got more instances of true damage and healing immunity and buff immunity. And when you start saturating the market with different options, tunes that were great, like Enfys Nest, have now she's like, you put her in like a team of scoundrels now just to be another layer of annoyance. That's it.
Yep,
but she's nothing like the way she used to be.
My biggest regret is not going for something. Like whenever GL Ray and Slacker were announced, I was fucking pissed. I said, fuck this game. I think Avant or someone talked me into staying around.
I did.
Yeah, I was pissed. I was ready to go because no one had ever seen us farm like that before. And I mean, I'm sure not the only one that felt that way, but I was.
You listened to Urzatron's old classic video and you were pissed off.
I'm sorry, did you say Urza Bridger?
No, I did not say Urza Bridger, you smart ass.
And yeah, I mean, I'm way behind now because of it. I would probably have many more GLs if I had just.
You're not way behind. You just like diverted your resources to something less beneficial to yourself in PvP. It's fine.
Yeah, but I could at least.
Next question is from Drew. If Bones doesn't get red box next conquest, what will his punishment be?
Ooh, I like this one.
And then Bones followed up in true like breaking the rules fashion, answering the question in the questions thread. Don't answer the questions, podcast host. Wait till the podcast to answer their damn questions.
Yeah,
do you want me to read what I said?
He says he's down for a punishment. So, Logan, what do you think Bones' punishment should be for not getting a red crate?
Okay. All right. Well, we obviously got to wait till next month, right? So let me brainstorm this for the week, and on next week's show, I will have an appropriate punishment for Bob.
And any suggestions are welcome as well in Discord.
I have a suggestion. I think our viewers should suggest characters, and Logan, you and I can pick 4 characters out of the list, and then we can have a viewer vote where if Bob does not get red crate,
he has to bring that character to Relic 9.
No, not 9. I say Relic 7.
5.
Relic 7.
Come on, y'all. It's a red crate. That's tough. Relic 5.
He's got to take the character to Relic 7, and it will be one of the 4 characters that we choose.
Okay. All right.
I have to agree. Right. We have to meet in the middle for this. Okay.
No, you agree.
Bob is going to be the proud owner of a Relic Rose Tico. Yeah.
If he's going to take this on and spend those resources, it has to be something at least a little bit favorable.
I agree with Paul here.
Thank you.
And I would
if
not.
If it's R7, if it's R5, I'll allow it to be a broader spectrum. But if it's R7, it has to be someone. Okay.
All right. If it's R7, it's got to be.
I might selfishly pick characters that we need for rote deployments or platoons. So.
Spoken like a true territory battle officer.
That's kind of fun.
Bones, if you would have platooned, if you would have filled your platoon in phase 1, we wouldn't be having this conversation.
Avant, I've never felt so low in my life, except for what Avant made me feel like the other day. I forgot T3. But you know what? I filled every platoon spot that I could. But it was the T3.
Who has fucking T3 M4 at Relic 5? Just Bones and just Bones.
I love
and
that.
I log in to say, why is T3 not platooned? And Bones had already deployed all of his troops to the other sector.
3 times that has happened with us and Bones. I didn't know that I had to warn him.
All right, then that's it. So I think that'll be the punishment. No red box. He's got a Relic 7 somebody, but it has to be a character that at least has some utility.
And we will take viewer suggestions, but Logan and I will ultimately pick 4 of the suggestions that make sense and don't completely screw Bones.
Yep, and then
AKA no Bodhi Rook, because we already have that one.
Thank God, I hate that guy. Like everyone was talking about how awesome he was, and was it in our Discord how great he was? And I was like, he was not that great in the movie either. He blew himself up, but it was over something little, wasn't it? Like over a switch.
No, he didn't blow it. He didn't blow himself up. A death trooper threw a thermal imploder at him and blew him up.
He blew up
after he got the connection to go up to be able to get to everybody.
Actually, a very awesome cinematic moment. I enjoyed that scene very much.
Mm-hmm.
Next question.
Enjoyed that old movie.
Veruca, aka Chris. New question for the podcast. This game can be frustrating sometimes. People complaining about GC, new stuff, doesn't work as intended. In GAC, I'm always outmatched. As a 6.5 million player, I will never catch up. But still, new content keeps coming. How do you guys make sure the game stays fun for you? For me, big deal is the community aspect of it. Working together on goals, TB and TW. And is this okay? Let's do that, and then there's a second question.
Yeah. So the one for this, what made it fun for me was going after passion projects of my own. Yeah. For at the first time that the drag came to me, I took all my Phoenix up as high as they could go. At that time, it was 12 and a half.
Nice.
So I took all my Phoenix to 12 and a half. It was fun. And then eventually I wanted to go for all the Afra stuff. I did that. I got, just keep going after the things you want to and find a place, find a guild that encourages you to do that. If they get too serious, say, hey, you guys are getting too serious for me. And you know what? No hard feelings. You move on, they move on.
Yeah, I couldn't say
if they get too serious and they get too serious themselves out of being a guild, then so be it. It's not your job to herd 49 cats.
Well, it is my job.
It is.
No, it's not. It is not. I relieve you from you thinking that you have to do that.
It's not 49. It's usually about like 10. The other 40 are good, or 39.
I do want a second though. Like when I have the most fun is when I take a break from farming something that's needed and going for a passion project. And I do that after every GL, or maybe I'll do a GL in like a star killer type farm, and then I will farm 2 or 3 squads. And it takes a while. It takes 3 months maybe or so, but you feel good about it. You start using it in GAC, and especially when you work on squads that maybe not everyone has. So I agree with that. What about you two? How do you guys keep it fun?
Logan?
You know, I obviously, and I've said this before, I have a budget that I stick to in this game once a month. I am a spender. I'm a pretty big spender, but it's kind of like, my hobby. I mean, I'm still able to go out and do things with the missus and other, but I think what's the most fun for me is that I spend a little money, I play with the toys, I play different game modes, and then I get to hang out with you guys once a week, and we get to talk about the shit that we're playing with.
That's right.
And to me, that's money. In my opinion, that's money well spent. I'm in a pretty high stress job sometimes, and this is something that I get to do with great people. And to me, I could probably have the same amount of fun if I didn't spend money, but I'm a old crotchety competitive motherfucker, and I'd like to spend money on what I spend money on, and to me that's fun, and that's what I do.
I agree. And remember, it's all subjective.
I'm going to piggyback on what Bones said, and I think so. This game is guild based, but there's also a PvP or like player opponent base of this game. So like alternate. Do something that helps your guild because your guild helps you, and then do something that makes you happy because you need to get enjoyment out of the game, not just help your guild. So help your guild and your friends, and then help yourself enjoy the game. Because if you stop enjoying the game, then it's not a game, and then you're just wasting your time.
Literally.
And if you're starting to get frustrated, take a couple days back. I've had to do this like 5 times with this game. I'm not saying quit playing it, but just chill out. Or maybe you do need to go like put the game down. Let everyone know, hey, I'm just going to go for a couple of days and just chill out and kind of reassess what's important to you in the game. Is it worth playing? I've had to do that.
The game is very addicting. It is designed that way, and I think that we all to a certain level get enjoyment out of the game at in some way or another, but like find ways to make the game enjoyable and happy for you. And if you can't find that, then like maybe you reevaluate yourself, right? Like don't waste time on the game if it doesn't make you happy, if it just makes you stressed out.
Yeah.
Personally, I enjoy the game a lot. I've played it for several years, and that's where I'm at. But like that's not where everyone is. So do what brings you joy.
Because I was talking about this on stream just today earlier on my channel. Like back when Paul brought me on to the Escape podcast, I started thinking, okay, well more people are going to hear about me. I got to start taking this serious. So I started getting really serious about my grand arenas, and I literally dropped off and like lost every single battle ever. Right? Every single one. So after a while, I had to take one of those breaks. Like, okay, what's going on with me? I have to reevaluate everything I'm doing. And then I came back, everything was good, and I quit taking it serious. And now, without any effort, I just go down, sit down, we have fun. And usually, when I'm not taking my grand arena seriously, when I'm not standing there like, oh, I don't know if I should do this or not, and when we just have fun, I throw them in, and usually it goes well for me without taking it so seriously. And you all know that I'm no expert, but I am the king of Kyber 3. So I just think, I mean, I don't care how competitive you are. Unless you're like top 200, you shouldn't take it seriously. Like if you're not going to, what you guys say it all the time, you're going to win 50% of the time in Grand Arena. No matter how hard you try, it's not going to work for you. Unless you're spending $100K a year on this, then you might have a chance to sit up on the throne, 33% of the time of the year. because there's always going to be someone else who's right there ready to outspend you. It's just a bottomless hole that you'll never, ever, it's endless. So if you're a person who's competitive and you think you're wanting to come into this game and be number one, you're not going to be, especially if you're free to play. And unless you want to come in and spend literally hundreds of thousands of dollars for the rest of your life until this game's done, you got to remember that. And I think some people are so competitive they forget and get lost in that. It doesn't matter how efficient you are. It doesn't matter that unless you're spending mad amounts, you're not going to win the top prize. But I still feel the same way in Kyber 3 as I would in Kyber 1. You know what I mean? You're just getting like 50 more crystals. So I just don't take it seriously is what I guess I'm saying.
Piggyback, I agree. I've kind of dipped back into Kyber 2 because I started noticing that as I was climbing into Kyber 1, I was hitting this kind of brick wall, and I noticed my expenditure had gone up a little bit past my budget, and I had to do kind of a reality check and go, you know what? It doesn't matter how much money I throw at this. I'm never going to break through that wall over people that spend more than me. So I toned it back. I'm not paying as much attention to GAC as I used to, and I'm okay with that. I'm really not losing that many resources in the grand scheme of things. And really, what am I losing? Bragging rights? Oh, I'm not in Kyber 1 anymore. I kind of give zero fucks.
Anyone who's in Kyber 1 doesn't want to be there, really. I mean, of course, they're competitive. That's why they're in there. But no one has fun being in Kyber 1 because you have to stay up on your fucking datacrons. And if you don't get the right datacrons, you got to spend money on rerolls and fucking more of them. And you might just have straight up bad luck no matter how much you spend on these things. And you're fucked for another 4 months.
Oh, believe me, I've had crons I tried to work on for a very specific kind of setting, and they just don't work out the way you want to. They do not re-roll the way you want them.
So in the top 2%, it's really about percentages and whose datacrons are better. Because you have everything. All of you have R9s. Everyone at that point has R9 everything. So now that's the only thing that's setting you apart is mods and datacrons. And let's say, well, all your mods are as godly as they can get at that time. Well, then now it's just up to datacrons. And then now it's just every 4 months, it's up to whoever got the best datacron.
All right, let me get through these last few questions here.
Yeah,
I will need to get going before we can do those. Go
ahead, Paul.
No, you go ahead and go, brother. Yeah, if you want to.
You are good. You do what you got to do.
But it has truly been a fun time. You guys had wanted to get me on after it wasn't really announced, but I was diagnosed with prostate cancer, and I am now can say that I am a prostate cancer survivor.
That's right.
Standing.
That was that's a good thing.
For sure.
But this is also the final time that I'm going to be ever doing a podcast, and I wanted to, thank everybody for that opportunity to come back on and just have one last hurrah.
Paul, brother.
And we appreciate you doing that with us.
Paul, and
honored. We are honored to have you join us for this, man. It's been fun.
Yeah.
And I think you're too humble. I don't think you give yourself enough credit, but you've done a lot for us personally as well as this community, man. And like they said, it's a freaking honor that you even came on here. It's an honor that you're my friend, that I keep in contact with outside of this. You know what I mean? But Paul, just thank you for everything you've done, everything you do, man. We're always here for you. And you can say this is your last one, but you never know. So if you're always welcome. You're always welcome.
I'm gonna say this. I host a trivia night in Houston, Texas, at a wing bar on Wednesday nights. August 16th is my final night that I'm hosting. It is the final night of entertainment. It is my retirement of Paul Anthony.
Well, are you happy though, man? Are you happier?
I'm wearing the ears now. I'm happy being who I am.
That's all I want.
So,
man.
yeah.
I just want you to be happy, buddy. And we'll always be here for you, my friend.
Absolutely.
That's all that matters in life, buddy. Not SWGOH. not anything else. Not know any video games. It's about your happiness and, yeah. But buddy, thank you so much for coming on tonight, man. It means a lot to me personally.
I appreciate you guys too. So, I guess one time for old time's sake, I get right.
Yep, do it, man. You know what it is.
Be nice to each other, damn it.
There we go.
Love you, buddy. Have a good night.
All right, Paul. Good night,
Later, Paul.
Love that guy, man. Love
That
guy.
right there, folks, is the end of an era.
And we talk about this all the time. It truly is like a weird era. You know how like a couple of years ago in the NFL, it's like Brady, it's fucking Philip Rivers.
Don't bring him into this. Don't bring him into this. We don't need to talk about Pat.
You know what I'm talking about. And now, but it's not just him. It's not just him. But like Andrew Luck, all them people, they're all gone. And even Andrew Luck was a young buck. Like they're all gone. And now there's Lamar Jackson, there's Joe Burrow, there's Mahomes.
Joe Burrow got carted off the field today.
Isn't that you know what? I don't wish that upon anyone.
I don't either.
If it were to happen to somebody, I'm not.
But being a
mad at
Steeler fan, I'm sorry, I'm not going to shed a tear.
Yeah, and it's just the cocky ass. That's what Bengals get for talking shit all the time. Anyways, let's move on, boys. I know it's late.
Yeah, we gotta wrap this up. So what do we got
Okay,
next?
I'm gonna blow through these last couple questions. So, as a second question, this is still from Garuka. As a second question to balance the talk about all those burgers and steaks, how do you guys make a good salad?
Lettuce, cheese, and smother it in chicken. Go ahead,
Okay.
guys.
Now that we've had the amateur answer, allow me to continue. Please don't go with iceberg. It's 99% water. It's shit. Find a nice piece of romaine. If you're inclined, you can add a little bit of cabbage. I normally would take a red pepper, a green pepper, and maybe an orange pepper. You cut them up pretty finely. You cut your lettuce up decently fine. You can either add some cucumber. You can get really creative and maybe for a day or two pickle a cucumber and also slice that up. You can also go with mushroom if you like, maybe some black olives. Definitely the little cherry tomatoes. I prefer those over actual tomatoes. And for a salad of that composition, I could recommend a really good, maybe if you like something sweet and it's hot out, maybe a good raspberry vinaigrette. Or later in the season, if it's like fall time, you could go with a good Russian or maybe blue cheese if that's your fancy. But that's what I would consider a really good, well put together salad.
I've never been much of a salad guy, but I always liked greens that actually have taste or flavor to them. Things like arugula or Swiss chard. Or like take your greens and saute them like collards or sauteed spinach. Don't give me a raw salad. Saute it, please.
I will say my wife makes really good salads. Like she's amazing salad, and I like it whenever she doesn't use any kind of salad dressing. She uses other things to make it taste good, right? Like I don't know, like lemon. I don't know. I'm not a food guy, as you know, but
Bob, I do like your thing about chicken, but I take chicken that's either been marinating in like Newman's Italian dressing, and then get your cast iron skillet as hot as you possibly can, sear both ends, slice it so that there's a little bit of a crust on the outside, slice it very nicely, and then put that on top of your salad, and then possibly put the vinaigrette over it. So yeah.
And depending how you have the chicken, it kind of cancels your healthiness, because I like, taste-wise, I like it like the chicken fried, right? And then cut up like a chicken strip or something cut up. That's what tastes the best. It's not very healthy.
What's a cut up fucking chicken? I'm done. I can't talk about food anymore with this man. I can't.
Okay, next question is from Bodie. Given the level of investment required for Leviathan and the fact it was so bugged, they obviously couldn't fix it in time for GAC attacks. Are we at a stage where they should consider some measure or compensation? It will obviously be fixed eventually, but there will be people who either spent money or crystals to fast track it in time for the event who are left with something not fit for purpose.
No, they're not going to reimburse anybody. They're going to fix it and just say sorry and move on.
But I mean, it's a good question because
it is a good question. but they're not going to do that.
Because
they're not
as a whale or someone who let's say you 7-starred it day one.
I did.
Well, let's not say 7. I don't know. Like, if you're a whale and you whaled out, you should, and it's the newest thing, it should be dominating. You should get your money's worth. Are you getting your money's worth?
In a way, I kind of feel like I am, because it's not the cleanest win. You're not getting perfect banners, but I now have another tool to beat profundity, and I do it well. I figured out my own method and how it works, and I climb every day and get my crystals either first or second. I alternate with another player that's in my shard, but I climb with the Leviathan every day.
Well, that's all that matters. As long as you as a whale and others as a whale are satisfied with what you got, then it definitely doesn't deserve any compensation. But a few thousand crystals maybe for it being completely bugged. Will they? We know they won't. Should they, though? Should they?
Hold on. Time out. So, JLA87 just said, I like octopus salad.
That's a badass emoji, by the way, too.
So I'm just going to say, I mean, if you're into fried calamari, I mean, if it's done right, it's good. But most people don't do it right. So then you might as well just go to the Office Depot and chew on a bag of rubber bands. So octopus salad, I'm not digging that, homie. I'm not buying what you're selling. I don't care how much fucking vinaigrette you put on it. I ain't eating it. All right, last question. Then I got to get the fuck out of here. What else we got?
Next question is from Extreme Makeover. Tonight, how many times have you seen the Barbie movie?
17 times.
No,
0.
I'm sure I'll end up seeing it because my wife is all about it. She collects.
Yeah, sorry. I went and saw Oppenheimer instead, and I'm glad I did.
Drew asked, and how many of you wished you were in the Barbie movie?
Oh, for sure. I used to dress up like Barbie.
I mean, thank God their contracts and paychecks were set before filming, before the strike. But I mean, yeah, I'd humiliate myself to be in a Barbie movie for another paycheck. Absolutely, it's money.
Yeah, I'll do less than that or more than that.
Next question is not a question. It's actually just a picture, as promised, from Paul of a cooked steak.
Oh, okay. I was like, huh?
Right. And I guess that wraps it up.
The final question is from Jedi Master Kyvel. How many of you wished you were Barbie?
Mama. All right. And that's it. I know Logan talks about it a lot. He wants to be Barbie.
I do have one announcement before we head out of here. I did put in the new episode update that if we got, I think it was either 5 subs or 10 more followers, I would be inviting a special guest to do the intro next week. So that happened. So you guys are going to get what you asked for. Yay. So our favorite seller of illegal Nubian will be opening the show.
All Nubians.
Yes.
I can't wait.
Yeah. He will be doing the intro. He will be introducing everybody. If we have a guest that week, we don't know yet, but he will be doing the intro, and then I'm gonna grab him by his wings and kick his communist ass out because he doesn't take Republic credits. And then we'll carry on with the show. But we got the subs. I said it, so I will have Watto on for the intro.
Real quick, we need to raid somebody. Can anyone see who's on right now? Wise?
Thank you, Bones. Yeah, let me check. I'll refresh us.
Rated us, motherfucker.
I literally don't think anyone's on right now, so we'll just call it good.
No, it's actually just us.
I'm sorry, y'all. I'm like, why is everyone in here? We're the only choice.
Glad I looked.
Unless you want to raid someone for like a different game, but no, we literally have all the SWGOH people right now.
It's all right. We'll do it next week or something. Logan's ready to get out of here. All right, everybody. Thank you all for another good night of SWGOH talk and hanging with us 3 scoundrels.
Okay, hold on. Bodhi says Urs is streaming. You should definitely raid Urs.
What's his official name on Twitch? That's the problem. I gotta have it.
Hot chicken Caesar salad sounds better than steak. What are you, fucking high?
I gotta look up Urs here.
What? No. Then you've obviously never had me cook you a steak. Like, no.
All I see is Jers. How do you spell
No,
Urs?
URZZZ.
Okay, here it is. All right, you are.
Sorry, if Bones is not Red Crate, make him dress as Barbie. I kind of like that.
No.
I kind of like that.
Does this have to be capitals too?
Well, the only thing, it's capital U and then the middle Z.
Z. I'm sorry, fellas. I didn't know it was going to be so hard to spell Urs. Okay.
By the way, Bodhi, thank you for the Urs shout out. I love Urs. He's one of the first streamers I ever watched.
Hey, mine too, yeah.
For sure. All right, everybody. Y'all have a good night. Love you all dearly.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for all your support. Thank you for listening to us. So, again, from myself, Old Man Logan 76, Avant, and Strolling Bones, who will have his own segment. We're going to brainstorm it. We love you all. Thanks for hanging out with us, and good night.